the recording. The recording is now recording.
Good evening. It is November 12th, 2025. You're here attending the Air-Beverly Crest Neighborhood Council Planning and Land Use meeting. This is our annual meeting. This is our monthly meeting. And the first order of business is the call to order. We are hereby called to order. The second order of business is our flag salute. Mr. Schlesinger, do you have a flag? If your video is on, if not, then we can. Oh, here he comes, the flag. Here it comes. All right. Robert has a full flag.
This is our memory.
Yes.
There we go.
Okay. I pledge
Allegiance
allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic
for
which
which it
it stands,
stands,
one
one
nation,
nation, under
God,
God,
indivisible,
indivisible,
with
with liberty
liberty and
and
justice
justice
for
for
all.
all.
Always a struggle to get everyone to do that in unison virtually, but we all have learned to slow down and try to do it in rhythm. So thank you for that. The next order of business is the roll call. Mr. Hall is here. Ms. Weisberg?
She raised her hand that she's here.
Okay,
I'm
great.
here. I'm here.
Ms. Greenberg is here. Ms. Miner, I know, is here. Ms. Levinson, I know, is here. Mr. Spradlin? Do I see you? I think Mr. Spradlin is absent tonight. Mr. Kemp is here, our co-chair. Ms. Savage, I don't believe she's here right now.
I think she's coming in late.
Okay, and Mr. Schlesinger, we know, is here. Ms. Templeton is here. Ms. Gray is here. Mr. Weinberg?
He's on the list, so he must.
Okay, so it looks like he's here as well. And Dr. Longcore is going to be coming in mid meeting, but he's not here currently.
Excuse me, Jamie, just to let you know, Stephanie is not she's not a panelist at this moment.
Okay. All right. I
She's
believe
here.
she's going to hang back a little bit.
They were saying consider her here.
I believe that she's not participating for the first two items. She's going to be participating in the last item.
All right, thanks.
Okay. Okay, the next order of business is approval of the November 12th, 2025 agenda. I trust that everyone received a copy of the agenda. May I have a motion?
So move.
Moved by Ms. Greenberg. Is there a second?
Second.
Seconded by Ms. Miner. Is there any discussion? All in favor of approval of the agenda, please say aye or raise your digital hand.
Aye.
Anyone opposed, please say nay or raise your digital hand. Is there any abstentions? Okay, so the agenda is approved. Thank you very much. Second order of business is approval of the minutes. We have two sets of minutes to approve. The first is the September 9th, 2025 meeting minutes that was circulated as attachment A. We're going to do these one by one. May I have a motion to approve the September 9th, 2025 minutes?
I'll make a motion.
Moved by co-chair Kemp. Is there a second?
I'll second.
Seconded by Ms. Gray. Is there any discussion? Is there all in favor of approval of the September 9th, 2025 minutes, please say aye or raise your digital hand.
Aye.
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 Is there anyone opposed? Are there any abstentions? It passes unanimously.
Patricia Templeton has her hand up, so
Sure.
Abstaining.
Absolutely.
I'm
Abstaining.
Okay, we have one abstention from Ms. Templeton. All right, moving on to the second set of minutes to approve or vote upon is the October 14th, 2025 minutes, which were also attached to the or circulated by Ms. Palmer.
No, I'm so sorry, they're not here. Sorry.
Oh, they're not, excuse me. So we do not have the October 14th, 2025 minutes. Ms. Palmer has not yet completed those. Those will be circulated and approved at our next board meeting. Um, Next topic is the general public comment period. The Bel Air Beverly Crest Neighborhood Council welcomes comment from the public on any topic within the committee's jurisdiction, but not on the adopted agenda. General public comment is limited to 1 minute per speaker unless waived by the presiding officer. So I just want to repeat this because I recognize we have a lot of people in the attendees and sometimes people make mistakes. So we have 3 items on our agenda right now. This is not your opportunity to speak on those items. There will be a separate public comment period for each of those items. However, this is the time to speak on anything that's not on the agenda, but within our jurisdiction. If you would like to speak on something that is within our jurisdiction, but not on the agenda, please raise your hand and we'll give the opportunity to speak. I see 3 people with their hands raised. Let's start with Alina.
Alina?
Yes, I'm here. Can you hear me now?
Yes.
And are you here to speak on an item on the agenda or during the general public comment
I
period?
am here to speak on an agenda item, but I have a general question.
Sure.
How can you please explain how the process works? So do we need to specify, is there a list where we sign up to say we are for or against?
No, here's how this is going to work. We're going to go, I'll even share my screen and I'll show you the agenda. So we're going through the agenda right now. So we just went through the approval of the agenda, approval of the minutes. We're moving on to general public comment, and that's what we're on right now. And then we're going to have chair reports where the chairs can give a little report. And then we're going to move on to the 3 items that we're going to consider tonight. The first one is going to be this 9566 Hidden Valley Road. It's going to start off with the applicant's representative giving us a presentation on the project. And then it'll follow with questions from the committee members. And then we will have a public comment period where you can then raise your hand during that time period and we will call upon you. And you can either say you support the project or you oppose the project or you're neutral or you can list your questions. We're going to give each person at least a minute to speak on the item. So that's how we're going to proceed tonight.
Thank you for clarifying that.
You're welcome. All right, let's move to the next person who has their hand up tonight during the general public comment period. That's Marlene.
Hi there, everybody. I hope you're all having a nice evening. We all appreciate all the work you do. I do know how busy you all are, and you work really hard to take care of us. So I want to say thank you. I do have a comment about any work that you do towards the brush clearance issue that we have along the 405 corridor. Skirball Center Drive specifically, we've been talking to the city about trying to get them to do a biannual clearing, and it's not been going so fabulously well. So I just want to mention that, and the brush fire area by Leo Beck Temple. It seems to be a popular one to burn. It burned a week after the fire in January, the big fire that we had in the Palisades, and anything that you all do to work towards trying to prevent any further fires in that area is greatly appreciated. I just wanted to mention it so everyone is aware. Thank you so much for your help and your time.
Thank you very much. We'll take a note of that. And that's an issue that has come up in the past. The next person that has raised their hand is Svetlana.
Svetlana, can you hear us?
Yes, I can hear you. Can you hear me?
Yes.
Yes.
Hi, everybody. Thanks a lot for all your work. I actually have a question similar to Alina, but I wanted to know if you give 1 minute for each speaker, but if I have, let's say, some other homeowners who are kind of present, but they're giving up their minute, they're donating their minute to me, and is it possible for, like, for example, for a speaker to say, I'm here representing like 3 homeowners and give their names? Would that be okay?
That's up to the discretion of the chair, and so I will get a sense of how many people want to speak on. I'm assuming you're probably on agenda item 6, the Castellano Road project. I'll get a sense of the total number of people that have raised their hands, and if we can accommodate that request, then I will grant it.
Yeah. So the reason I'm saying is that we've really prepared, and we kind of put like instead of having 3-4 homeowners speak on the same topic, we've assigned a group speaker. So to save you guys time and energy. So one person will speak on that topic.
Okay.
Yeah.
Thank you. I will take that into consideration, and we do
Okay.
appreciate you, thinking about that in advance.
Thank you.
You're
Mhm.
welcome. The next person who has their hand raised is Sarah.
Sarah, can you hear us?
I think
Go on.
it's muted.
Sarah?
Okay, so we're gonna go ahead and is there anyone else that has a general public comment, a topic that is not on the agenda but within our jurisdiction? Okay, not seeing anyone else raise their hand. We're gonna go ahead and close the general public comment period. The next item on the agenda is the chair report. Do I have anything to report? One thing I discovered was that the city is collaborating, specifically the mayor's office with UCLA, to sell off small lots in the city of Los Angeles for
Right.
development. And so they issued an RFP that was they being Ramen sponsored, Blumenfield seconded, and it's a proposal to sell off 12 lots. It's actually an RFP. They were facilitating, it's a request for proposal to develop those 12 lots, but they will be sold. Two of them are in the very high fire hazard severity zone and within the Santa Monica Mountain zone. And I believe that the proposals are going to be putting more than one dwelling unit per parcel, and they're really kind of complicated parcels too. So that's I reached out to the mayor's office and Raman's office because by state law and the administrative code, the Santa Monica Mountains Conservancy has a right of first refusal on all excess property. And also just generally speaking, I'm a little concerned about adding further density in the very high fire hazard severity zone. So I'll let the board know what I learned. The mayor's office was responsive and said they were looking into it and I asked for a meeting. So that's one thing I wanted to report. Mr. Kemp, do you have anything to report?
The only thing I was going to say is I just want to thank everybody for attending. I see we have like 60 attendants, and it's your participation that really makes the process work. So thank you very much.
Thank you, Mr. Kemp. Ms. Weisberg, our vice chair.
Yes, I just want to point out to everybody that the LA City Council capped the RSO rent hikes and surcharges. And this is a major step in trying to sustain affordable housing in the city of Los Angeles. And I just want to commend Katie Roslowski from CD5 for her leadership on this issue.
Thank you for that. I think there was an article about that in the LA Times today, right?
Correct.
And didn't it in the committee, it was capped at 3%, but when it up to city council, they went up to 4%. So there was a compromise there.
Exactly right. Exactly right. Thank you.
All right. So the first item on our agenda is 9566 West Hidden Valley Road. I keep wanting to say Hidden Valley Ranch Road. I just can't help myself. The case number is ZA 2025-2164 CU1 DRB SPPC MSP. The ENV, the environmental case number is ENV 2025-2165 CE. Do we have a representative from the applicant here to present tonight?
Yeah.
Great. Can we elevate that person to a panelist?
Okay, what is the name of that person, please?
I believe Chabeli.
Okay,
Hernandez.
But I don't see Chabeli's name on here. I don't know who else.
I see someone who just raised their hand, CHHER raised their hand. I
That's it.
suspect that's probably the applicant's
Yes,
representative.
that's him. Chabeli Hernandez.
Just 1 second, Ms.
Hello?
Greenberg is elevating you. Hello there.
Hi, good.
Uh-oh. Looks like you just muted yourself.
Oh, hello?
hi.
There you go. We can hear you now.
Okay, great. Yes, good evening, everybody. Yeah, so I was hoping I could share my screen.
Yeah.
Sure.
Hold on.
And how long is your presentation, ma'am?
Well, we don't have to go through all the pages, but I will, oh, wait, join as panelist. Is that what I need to do? Okay.
Yeah.
Joining us.
She's now muted.
Robin, can you move
Yes.
them out, the people that are not panelists? Where did you go?
Hello?
Hi,
Okay.
can you,
I don't know why it keeps muting. I'm not trying to
Oh,
do that.
just
Okay.
give it a shot and
Okay,
let's just
here we
hope
go.
it works out.
All right, I'm going to share. Sharing is not turned on. I have sent the request so you can allow me to share.
yes,
Okay, let's see. Here we go.
You don't see him.
All right, we can see your screen.
All right, you can see the project overview.
Yes, and we can
Okay,
see
great.
your cursor.
All right, so let's begin. This is a project consisting of a remodel, a major remodel to the existing single-family home. This is the survey. This is the existing residence, and it has a pool in this center courtyard and an existing tennis court. And what my client is wanting to do is to do a major remodel to transform this residence into a two-story residence with an underground basement garage. So just a little bit of context here to show that the site is almost entirely flat. That is all the blue that is here. And then with the hillside mainly being in this rear yard area. It's not a lot of hillside. And here's just a quick overview of where it is, an aerial view. I want to start by just showing some images of the existing house. This is that house right here. If we're standing in this intersection, Hidden Valley here. So this would be it. And then there is a alley next to it, and it has a fence with some columns and some greenery. And we're going to touch on that later because we are altering this. Another view of the house. And then the alley. I will circle back to this. Okay. This is the existing residence, and essentially the new house is going to take place of where the existing one is. We are not wanting to alter any of the natural contours of the site. Another view of the tennis court. This is the rear of the property, all the way back here where the number 16 is. We're not touching any of that. It is all going to stay in this area here. So I can skip this. Okay, so here is a quick overview. Existing house is 1 story and an attached garage. The other structure is an existing tennis court that will remain. This is the existing square feet, 3,251, and the house is approximately 13 feet in height. We are proposing a 2-story single-family residence with basement and underground garage. The other structures that are being proposed is a detached pool cabana and a pool and spa, which will be under a separate permit. So beds and bath is going to be a 6-bedroom, 8.5 bathrooms, and that includes a bathroom that is in the pool cabana. The floor area is 7,021 square feet. The RFA is 6,592, sorry. And then the total building area is 9,325. In relation to the maximum allowed, so this is the RFA that we're proposing, 6,500 and some change, and the maximum allowed is 6,845. Regarding the height proposed is 35 feet and 3 inches, and the maximum allowed is 40. This is the proposed site plan. So this is Hidden Valley right here. And we're placing the new structure, or the remodel structure, almost new, right in the center of this area here. For context, the blue lines are the setbacks, the front yard setback and the side yard setback. And over here, this is the swimming pool, the spa, and the detached pool cabana. And this is that tennis court. Okay. As part of the project, we are proposing 4 new retaining walls. This number 1 retaining wall is just 3 feet in height, and it is to contain a little bit of soil on this area right here. Retaining wall 3 and 4, this is for allowing a depressed driveway to access the basement underground garage. And then the retaining wall number 5 is we're doing some stairs to access the basement from this side and from this side. So that is what that retaining wall is there for. We'll see them a little bit better now shortly. Regarding the fence, this portion of the fence, which is in the alley, is going to remain. We are going to alter all of this to accommodate a new pedestrian gate and vehicular gates, but we are going to rebuild them to match what is there now. So we want to match the height, not exceeding 8 feet, and also keeping the solid portion no more than 3 feet high. And then the rest would be a wrought iron fence with a landscape on the back of it, like on the interior, on the front yard. Okay. Here is a first level floor plan. What I want to convey with this image is if you see the red dashed line, that is the footprint of the existing house. And we're doing this exercise so it's easy to, kind of easy to see where this house is sitting in relation to the existing house footprint. There is an oak tree on this side, which is not being removed. And all the existing vegetation that is here will remain. This is another elevation of that front fence. This is the other retaining wall that exists. It's at this side, the tennis court side that we are not touching at all. Okay. Site planning, the single family residence is situated in the location of the existing house. The proposed house is set back an additional 12 feet from the required front yard setback. The proposed driveway approach, or the curb cut, is going to be in the exact location as the existing one. And the proposed front yard fence will match the existing fence. Protected trees, no protected trees being removed, existing oak tree to remain. This is the cut and fill that is part of the project to accommodate the basement. And here, lot coverage. So lot coverage, okay. So this is the proposed lot coverage, 4,030 square feet, and the maximum allowed is 8,129. So we are at almost 20% proposed lot coverage, so we are well under the lot coverage. Parking, there's a total of 5 parking spaces, 3 parking underground, and 2 tandem parking spaces. I think, let's see here. So we have 2 parking spaces here. This is one gate, and this is the other gate that will be able to access the underground garage that we'll see in a minute. Okay, this is just another summary of everything that I just discussed now: parking, height, retaining walls. We are in compliance with everything except the front yard fence and the retaining walls, which is why we are applying for a Class 1 conditional use permit. This is the proposed design for the house and the fence, except that the fence will match, the color will match the existing. This is the rendering. This is the back part of the house. This is what we showed to the design review board at our first meeting. They made some recommendations to articulate the side walls of the house as they were a little bit flat, and this is the revision. So if you can, you see the difference here. So we've set this part back, articulating the roof line as well, adding another roof portion here, and adding stone veneer here. This is the part that you access the basement. And we did exactly the same on the other side of the house. Okay, so here are the elevations. This is the east elevation before, and this is after we made that edit. So this part of the second level is pushed back to articulate the massing of the project. And this is the other elevation. As you can see, it was pretty flat. So then we did the same thing over here. Again, the roof plan before, and we're just highlighting the change in roof line here as we made that revision suggested by the design review board. And here's that elevation. So these are the stairs that I was talking about. This is before and after. We, to not make it seem like such a, flat, large wall, we articulated, pushed back the second level here, and all of this is going to have a stone veneer. So now it's going to be looking quite different than the original proposed elevation. This is just a diagram analyzing that the basement, in fact, complies with the definition of a basement. The orange perimeter, all of that is in compliance with this section right here, meaning that the first story elevation is not more than 3 feet higher than the natural grade or finished grade, the lowest point. Another recommendation from the design review board, we had these colors, but they wanted to stay away from the pure white, even if it was for the trims. So we have found, to make them a little bit, some gray, a little bit warmer. So that's that change right there. This is the pool cabana. Another recommendation was for us to include fireplace doors to be tempered safety glass. So we're including that. This is the stair that I was mentioning. This is one of the retaining walls that is being proposed. So really it's only, quite visible when you go down the stairs, but not when you are at grade level here. This is the other retaining wall for the garage. So it's about 2 feet high if you're standing on this elevation. Another view of the back. Another view of the pool cabana and the pool. Oh.
I'm just going to step in here for just a second here.
Sure.
We normally review projects not with the fine level of detail that the design review board does. Although we really appreciate this presentation, we often look at the discretionary entitlements that are being sought. And so
Okay.
I'm just kind of focusing in on, so you're asking for more than 2 retaining walls. So that's
Yes.
one of the discretionary entitlements. And then also is the fence, right? And then I
Correct.
saw that you're exporting more than 1,000 cubic yards of soil, so it looks like there's going to be a haul route required as well, correct?
Yes, this is the export. Here we go.
So, do you want to say anything more about the fence? And we often like just ask ourselves, why can the required findings be made to grant the requested entitlements? Why don't you just kind of focus in on that for just a little bit? The three, I know maybe just tell us a little bit. Do you even know where the haul route's going to be? How long it's going to last? Um, uh, but tell us just a little bit more about that, and then we'll ask the committee members if they have any questions.
Oh, sure, of course. So thank you for jumping in so I can focus on what's important. So regarding the fence, the reason that let me find a better. Okay, here. So the reason that we are proposing an over in height fence is because we want to match what is here existing. That way we don't have to demo all of this, right? So we don't want to interfere with all of this fence that is going down this alley. But we do need to make modifications here, so we're just going to rebuild it to match this existing one. That is the only
So the
reason.
existing fence is already over in height, so you would like the new fence to maintain that.
Correct. Yes, we want it to look like it's still one exact fence that turns a corner into the alley and not, two separate designs.
And this may be obvious, but why don't you want to have to alter that fence along the alley?
It's not well, the client doesn't want to. It's not it's also, important for him to have the privacy that this current fence offers.
And what is the alley used for right now?
Okay, so that alley, let's see where that map is.
We don't hear about alleys too much in hillside properties.
I'm calling it an alley, but this is better. Let's see. Okay. So here's the house, and here's this alley here. And it leads all the way to this house.
Oh, it's really
alley.
okay,
But
it's a driveway, really.
Yeah.
Okay, and so and then the retaining walls, why are more than the required number being sought, just to facilitate the aspects that you said, like the stairs and the underground garage?
It's purely to facilitate the garage, the stairs, and let's see where we're at.
You said the third one was to hold back some soil or something.
Right here. Oh my gosh. Yes, right here. So really the slope, like once we hit this section right here, it's less than 3 feet. So it's kind of like a robust garden wall, but it's 3 feet in height. So it will be seen as a retaining wall.
And then tell us about the haul route a little bit, and then we'll ask the committee if they have any questions.
At the moment, I don't have a plan for the haul route.
Okay.
But is that information something I'm able to provide?
I mean, I just,
town?
well, it's not the end of the world. I was just wondering if you had some information, because we often do
Yeah.
look at that issue. So
Okay.
is there anything, I didn't mean to stop you, but is there anything
No,
else you would like to tell us before we go to committee questions?
No, that's it. Those are the major items, really. The retaining walls, the front yard fence. I just wanted to explain why we're keeping that fence, why we're doing an over in height fence. And let me see if I have one more useful photo. Okay, so see this is more or less that other retaining wall.
Yeah, I see it.
It's not a big deal. And the retaining walls for the garage, you see that if you're standing here in front of the house, it's like 2 feet high. but you know, it is a retaining wall for the driveway.
Well, we appreciate
Okay.
your honesty. We often see people who don't calling it a
Oh.
retaining wall. So,
Yeah.
okay, so let's open this up to committee questions. Mr.
Sure.
Kemp.
Um, First off, I want to thank you for an excellent presentation. I think this is actually a great example of how to present a project, so appreciate that. Just a couple of quick questions I had. The existing front wall is over in height. Do you know if that was permitted, if they did get a ZA approval on that wall at some point?
I don't, I have to get back to you on that.
Okay, that's fine.
Yeah.
And then just for clarification, retaining wall number 2 is the existing wall that's at the back of the tennis court. Is that correct?
Okay. Over here, yes.
Yeah. So that's
So
the
we
back.
have to count that when we're proposing it because they want to know the total number of retaining walls that this project will have after everything is built. And then, yes, that one is existing.
Right. Next question I just have is the exterior stairwell on, well, I can't quite point to it.
Oh, here.
Yeah. Is that required for egress from the basement?
No, it's not required. It's
Okay.
a wish list of the project.
Okay. Okay. And then actually, I just want to make one comment is, normally when we see something like 4 retaining walls, kind of the alarm goes off. But I must say, your retaining walls, I think, are very much in the spirit of the code because, like you say, it's just to create the entrance to the garage
Yes.
and then also to facilitate the stair on the side. So it's not like you're trying to manipulate
No,
some
exactly.
major grading, that type of thing. So,
Absolutely. Yeah. Yeah.
so I can appreciate that. So, well, again,
Okay.
thank you very much. I think your presentation was excellent. So.
Well, thank you so much.
Mr. Schlesinger. You're muted. Mr. Schlesinger, you need to unmute yourself.
How deep is the shallow end of the pool? Because it looks much deeper than normal.
Oh, that's a good question. I'm gonna, it looks like I have to get back to you guys on a few items.
Okay.
How shallow is the,
How shallow is how deep is the shallow end of the pool?
I have to get back to you, but it's meant, this area here is meant to be like, like a foot deep so that you can sit there and just relax in the water. And then you have some steps and then this is the deeper area.
I understand that, except if you have children or something like that, the depth of the shallow end of the pool can be a question.
Yes. Yes.
All right.
So I'd
Is
like to,
anyone-
if you can get back to us on that, I'd appreciate it.
Okay, of course.
Okay.
Is there anyone else in the committee that has any questions? All right. Was there anyone? Now we're going to open it up for public comment. If there's anyone in the attendees that would like to speak on this project, please raise your hand and we will unmute you so you can speak. Not seeing anyone. Last call. If you'd like to speak on this item, please raise your hand. Okay, we're going to close the public comment period. Ms. Minor.
I was wondering if there was any input from any of the neighbors on this project.
Ms. Hernandez?
No,
And you've already had one hearing before the DRB, right?
I've had a DRB hearing.
And the public notices went out to the people within the radius.
Correct. And there were no comments during my presentation at the DRB
Okay.
from the public.
Unlike neighborhood council, they actually give mailed notices to neighbors for hearings.
Yes.
If anyone's on the Charter Commission, we should think about that. We should get funding for that so that people actually show up. I think that can make us a lot more effective if we actually had mailed notice to neighbors. But anyway, I'm off topic.
I just want to mention also, this is such a fine presentation. I appreciate it.
Yeah, I was going to say that too. I really liked, and if there's anyone here from the Crest team, because they come to us all the time, I kind of liked how someone worked us through the plans and like described things to us. That was just really well done. I like that a lot.
Thank you. I spent the last 30 minutes shuffling sheets around because I wanted to guide you through the story so it makes sense.
Yes. All right. Would anyone like to make a motion?
I'd like to make a motion that I think the project is fine, that I would say approve or take no exception to the project.
I would,
Okay.
I would,
second that.
I would say approve.
Yeah, I would say approve.
Okay, so we have a motion on the floor. Wait. We have a motion to approve and seconded by Mr. Weisberg, right?
Weinberg, yeah.
Weinberg, excuse me. Mr. Weinberg. Would anyone like to discuss the motion?
Yes, I'd like to just ask what you want to do about the questions that you have asked the appellant to come back to the committee with answers to.
I was thinking, and then so I guess we'll consider this the deliberation phase of the motion. I was thinking that because the questions were very discreet, that the applicant's representative could provide the information to Ms. Palmer and then and discuss. I'm sorry, to just speak about it at the full neighborhood council vote. I don't see any need to continue this or anything like that. I think we need to.
Right. I think we just need to, just from my point of view, forgive me, Jamie, is we just need to make sure that Bob Schlesinger, for example, feels that the reply to his question about the pool would not affect his vote.
Okay, sure. How about the applicant's representative, if they could provide the answers to Ms. Palmer, our administrative assistant, and then consistent with the Brown Act, she could only provide that information to Mr. Schlesinger, not to the whole committee. We can't have an outside meeting. But does that sound okay? Ms. Hernandez, could you do that?
Yes, of course. Yes, I will give the answers to Ms. Palmer.
Okay, perfect. All right, is there anyone else who would like to deliberate or discuss the motion that's on the floor? All right, Mr. Weinberg?
Yeah, I think this is a perfect example of a circumstance where we exercise our discretion in allowing these variances. The existing wall is just to be consistent with the wall in the driveway. The additional retaining walls are not nefarious. They're incorporated in the design, very small. I think this is a perfect example of why we should say yes.
Thank you so much.
Right. I'm going to go ahead and call the vote if I don't see anyone else raise their hand. All in favor of the motion, please say aye or raise your digital hand.
Aye.
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 Okay, everyone put down their hands. Anyone opposed, please say nay or raise your digital hand. Is anyone abstaining? Okay, the motion carries unanimously. Thank you, Ms. Hernandez, for your time. If you could provide the answers to some of the questions that were posed to Ms. Palmer, she'll ensure that they're circulated to the person who posed the question. And just to clarify, we make recommendations to the full neighborhood council. So after this meeting, there's going to be a agendized neighborhood council meeting before the full board, and they'll consider the planning and land use committee's recommendations. You're invited to attend that meeting as well. You do not have to present, but you're invited to attend. And if there is any questions, you can speak during that hearing.
Okay, wonderful. Well, thank you so much.
I'm
Mr.
abstaining.
Schlesinger,
Yes, I'm abstaining.
from this vote?
Yes.
Okay, so let's let the record reflect that Mr. Schlesinger abstained from the vote. Okay, let's move on to item number 2, which I think most people are here to speak about. That is the project at 2785 North Cassiano Road, 2791 North Cassiano Road, and 2845 North Cassiano Road. This is a project, I guess the title on our agenda is Milken Community School East Campus. The application number is CPC 2025-3449 CU3 SPPC DRB MSP, and the environmental case number is ENV 2025-3450 CE. The project description is a Class 3 CUP for proposed high school interior renovations with minor exterior alterations. We have an applicant's representative here tonight who's going to be providing the presentation. If the applicant's representative could raise their hand, we will elevate you to a panelist and allow you to present.
On that note, I think there's 3 people, they look like panelists that were, are there presenters or?
Sure. Thank you for pointing that out. If anyone, I guess part of the project, the applicant's project team, all raise your hand. We'll ensure that you're all elevated so that you can all participate in the presentation.
Jamie, Mr.
Yes.
Armbruster is the main person.
Okay, great. Robin, do you see everybody?
Yes, it's a long list and I'm getting to them.
Okay, got it.
Can you hear me now? This is Mark Armbruster.
Yes,
Yes.
we can.
Hi, everyone.
Hi.
It's Sarah
Thank you.
Shulkin. Can you hear me?
Yes, we
Yes.
can. Thank you.
Oh, good.
Hello, and this is Carlos
Hello.
Sanchez. Can you hear me?
Yes, we
Yes.
can.
Thank you.
Is it okay if we begin or?
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay.
Does everyone have the ability to share their screen?
Yeah,
I
we
don't think that-
actually don't have
don't
exhibits
need
to
to.
show you at this preliminary meeting
Sure.
with regard to this.
How about it?
They have the opportunity to show the project to you and to introduce it to you, and then go from there.
Okay, great.
And with
Well,
that,
have at it.
Sarah's going to.
Sure. Hi, everyone. I'm not sure if you can see me or you can just hear me. I'm Sarah Shulkin. I'm the head of school at Milken Community School.
Let
and
me
I wanna
pause you
thank-
real quick. We can't see you. Is your video enabled? Because it would be nice to see you.
I don't see how to do that on my end.
Okay. I thought that we could, but I guess not. Go ahead.
Yeah,
Don't
I
worry
don't
about
see
it.
an
Go ahead.
option for that. The only thing I see is audio, so I
Got
think
it.
you
No
might have to
problem.
do it on your end. But
Go ahead. That's okay.
Okay. Okay, well, anyway, thank you for having me, and thank you for having all of us. We're really happy to be here and appreciate the time. Just a little bit of background on the project. Milken is the largest non-Orthodox school in the country, Jewish day school in the country. And, it's, okay, here we go.
Your video is muted. Unmute yourself.
Can you see
There
me
you
now
go.
and hear me
Yeah,
now?
yes, we can
Okay.
both see and hear
Great.
you now.
Okay, great. All right, I'll start again. Hi, everyone. I'm Sarah Shulkins. I'm the head of school at Milken Community School. Milken is the largest non-Orthodox Jewish day school in the country. And the need for a Milken education in the Jewish community is more important than ever. Milken purchased the former AJU property in January of 2024. And the reason that we did that is we wanted to accommodate the rising need and demand for a Milken education. We're in the very early preliminary stages, but we're looking to renovate the interior of the building, of the academic building and the student union building for Milken's upper school, our 9th through 12th grade program. We applied for a new CUP as a religious high school. And the goal is to move our 540 high school students to Milken East. Those students are already on the Hill, and to increase our enrollment by 360 students over time, very gradually. Our plan does not include boarding students, so there should not be any late night or overnight activity in the neighborhood. And we have really tried and really believe in stewarding the campus in a way that increases the safety and security for the neighborhood overall. We've worked really hard to be productive partners with the neighborhood. We've met several times with Cassiano's HOA boards and the entire community. We've tried to keep really open communication channels and to work together thus far. During our period of ownership over the last 2 years, we've tried to be responsible stewards, really building on the history of successful operations at our current campus on the other side of the 405. There's been many requests by our neighbors, and we've done a number of those things: trimmed trees, provided meeting space, put out a car fire actually in the middle of the big fire. And safety and security for us remains our top priority as a Jewish school and as a member of the neighborhood. And I think the person to speak to this best is our incredible Director of Safety and Operations and Security, Carlos Sanchez, who's a presenter on the call. Carlos, I'll turn it over to you for a bit to talk about emergency preparedness and our partnerships.
Thank you, Sarah, and good evening, everyone. I want to tell you a little bit about me, so you know where my background is. I spent 20 years with the Los Angeles Police Department, retired as a detective supervisor, been in private schools now for over 15 years in safety and security. During my time of doing all this, I've been in part of many emergencies, from the Northridge earthquake, the LA riots, to multiple fires, including evacuations, even at my previous school. And what I want to just share with you is just our partnership with the community is definitely, our top priority. I mean, some of the benefits that we bring to the area is we have a 24/7 security team that patrols both campuses. We actually even help covering Merman's campus as well. Our site is also used as a law enforcement training facility. And actually on Monday, we had over 50 SWAT officers doing training on our campus. So who doesn't want extra police around the neighborhood, right? Some of the things that, like Sarah mentioned, is the food truck that caught on fire. Our security was the first ones there to help put that out. We also have our own private cellular network, the only one that a K through 12 school in California has. So what that means is when the fires occurred in the Palisades, all the big networks went down. Our cellular network won't go down, and it's going to be available not only for Milken but for the community. So you can still call out and make those calls. We have cellular phones or satellite phones on our campus. We have our own weather station. And what's important about having our own weather station is we monitor the wind, rain, lightning. For example, we had a trip scheduled this weekend that we ended up canceling because of the atmospheric river rain coming in. We definitely side on the side of caution. We've already closed school many times because of weather. We closed school right away when the Palisades fire started. We want to make sure not only is our community safe, but that we're also not, in the way of the, homeowners that are in that area. We really take care of our campus. We do biannual brush clearance. We did tree trimming. As soon as we purchased the property, we trimmed every single tree to make sure it's in compliance. We put, every way we can help not only, the community, but just our campus, where we put a perimeter fencing around. We added 20 AI type cameras where we're license plate readers. We want to make sure that, we're an asset to the community, and be able to, work with everyone, to be able to support. So if there's any emergency, not just what's on our campus, there's been, I'm sure all of the people that speed down Mulholland. We've had 2 accidents in front of our campus. Our security were the first ones there to handle medical aid, to do traffic control. And that's one of the things that we would do if there's an emergency. We're going to be helping with traffic control. We're going to be helping the community. We have 3 registered nurses. We have EMTs. We're there to support everyone that's in that community. And, I just wanted to express, that it's definitely a partnership with Milken and with the community, and that's what we're here for. Thank you for the time.
Carlos, thank you.
And this is Mark Armbruster. Sorry, I interrupted. I forgot you were going to do another piece here.
No, that's okay, Mark. Just a little bit more, and then I'll hand it over to you. I think just you heard from Carlos, you get a sense of how important safety and security is to us. Just a little bit more on the why for the new CUP. I think, unlike the AJU operations, our Milken operations will primarily occur during the day, and there is no residential student component. So evening operations will be limited to after-school activities and a small number of on-campus events. Our existing campus infrastructure, including the total existing educational floor area, is adequate for our proposed enrollment. So we're not expanding square footage. We're working inside the building as it was designed. The transportation report concludes that the on-site queuing area will be sufficient to accommodate pickup and drop off. And just a little bit more on that in terms of Cassiano. Our drop-off window takes place during a 20-minute period, primarily between 7:45 a.m. and 8:05 a.m., which does partially overlap with Cassiano peak traffic. And so to minimize the impact, one of the things that we've done is we've dedicated a traffic control in place to move cars and to prevent backups, including a designated lane for the neighborhood. The traffic flow will also be in the opposite direction of what most of the neighborhood is experiencing. And then pickup is staggered. So different than drop off, well, primarily people come at the same time. Pickup is staggered beginning at about 3 p.m. Again, getting most of our students off campus before the neighbors return home. So we're requesting an enrollment greater than our existing high school enrollment based on the real growing demand for Jewish education in the region. And we're trying to anticipate and plan for that in a really intentional way. There is an incredible demand for LA Jewish students to get a safe Jewish education. And we know that on this site, we have more space to make that happen. So I'll stop there and I'll turn it over to Mark, and then I think we'll open it for questions.
Yes, thank you. Yeah, and I'll just a couple of brief remarks about what we're asking for and what the process will be. We are, simply as Sarah said, we're applying for a change of use. The current AJU CUP on the property was for to allow college students, high school students, and adult education. We're filing this new CUP to make it clear that this is just for a high school and no other use. So that's what we're applying for. We're not asking for any new buildings. And by the way, one correction, we've changed it so there will be no exterior improvements. 100% of the activity will be interior. And that, as Sarah said, that all fits well within the existing academic building. As you can imagine, I'm sure you've seen before, most schools, and I've been involved with a good number of schools who are proposing some sort of expansion. When they're doing that expansion, they're usually asking to be able to build additional buildings or facilities. This is entirely different. The buildings are already there and in place. And all we are doing is changing the use from multiple uses like college students, high school, and adult education. This will just be for high school. So that's what we're asking for. We're in the process of answering a good number of questions that the planning department has, which they normally have in school related cases. So we're in the process of doing that. We're hoping to start moving this process forward, and we could certainly come back to you with more exhibits, although there aren't really a lot of exhibits because the buildings are already there. They're already there and in place. We're hoping to have occupancy of the high school starting in August next year, August 2006. So we're working hard on that. One last thing is we have with us today, usually there are questions regarding traffic and all that. We followed our traffic consultant's advice, as Sarah said, so that now by moving the drop-off and pickup point further down the lot, we think we'll be able to accommodate all pickup and drop off on site without, run over parking moving over to the Cassiano areas. And if you have any questions about traffic, Sarah Drobas, who's with Gibson Transportation, is here tonight to answer any questions as well. So with that, I'm going to leave it open. We'll leave it open for questions and answers.
Great.
And public comment.
Thank you so much, everyone. So now I'm going to open this up for committee questions. And then after we're done with that, we're going to turn to the public. So Ms. Minor.
Yes, first of all, I'm very, very pleased to hear about the use for that area. It's really terrific. It's wonderful. I've always been concerned about that parking structure all the way to, guess it's to the west. It's very sort of steep and windy and very dangerous kind of a building, and I'm just wondering if that's going to stay the same, if it's going to be used for parking, or what the situation is going to be with that building. Do you know what I'm talking about?
Are you talking about the really sharp turn that you have to make in the
Yeah.
parking? Yeah, I had the same, I had the same concern, and I know Carlos did as well. I can let Carlos speak to that, but we had the exact same reaction when we first took ownership of the site.
Yeah, one of the things with that parking structure is we probably will use it. We don't plan on making any changes there and use it for our faculty to park in that area. We've kind of gone through a drop off and pickup plan, so that would be an area that we would just have our employees use and then exit out onto Cassiano.
I have another question. What about such features as physical education, like a football field or a basketball or whatever, with the kind of sports that high school students engage in? Will they be on site or will they be someplace else or what?
So the building, there's another building that's sort of at the top across from the what is now the dorms. So across from that building, there's a building that we're calling the Student Union Building, and we're also renovating the interior of that building, and that will be a site for physical activity. High school students in our context are not required to do PE. They do after school sports typically. Middle school kids do have a required PE, but they will not be on the site. So in that building will be a weight room, likely meeting rooms for teams. That will sort of be the hub of physical activity, but it will all be contained within that building, and we're not changing the exterior of the building at all.
Well, what about such physical activities, let's say, of running, that some of the smaller schools have, that don't have a basketball court or a football field or that sort of thing?
So what we do for that now, and we plan to continue to do, is we use facilities in the area. So for instance, our baseball team practices at Encino Little League. That's our home field. Our track and field team practices and cross country practices at Balboa Park.
Uh-huh. Well, welcome. I'm very happy to hear about
Thank
the new
you.
use for this.
Oh, my. Yeah.
Thank you. We're excited.
I'm going to go in the order that I see hands raised on my screen. Ms. Weisberg.
Thank you, Jamie. Let me just revisit this. Did I miss this? Is there a reason why there are no pictures? I understand that you have no plan to renovate the exterior. You probably don't know this, but this board met at what was formerly the AJU campus for many, many years. And so the board knows this facility very well. But I just want to express a comment that I'm very surprised that, knowing how important this is, that you came forward with no pictures.
So we're very early. I mean, I can answer, and then Mark, feel free to jump in. We're very early in the process, Leslie, and because our work is just improvement inside the building, like we're not asking for any exterior at all. What we're really coming to is a revised CUP request. And the interior of the buildings, I mean, obviously we have to upgrade the classrooms. So the classrooms that were built there in the 60s, 70s, and 80s are really different than what we need today. And I think we're happy to come back with specifics about what kinds of classrooms we're planning to convert the classrooms that are there now too, but it will all be within the confines of the walls of the building. We're not changing the exterior in any way. Mark, you want to add anything?
Yeah, I was just going to add that we're finalizing the site plan now to show, demonstrate exactly where the pickup and drop off and things like that will be.
Right.
We should have, we're working with our traffic consultant on that. We should have that for you shortly. And we can go ahead and if you would like, we can go ahead and submit those to you as soon as they're ready, which will be in not too long.
I think that would be very important because we don't, at the end of the day, we'll hear some public comment from your neighbors. But this is a very concerned, as you know, community that you have around you. And
Yes.
it would be very important to be able to provide context to some comments by being able to look at some visuals.
Sure.
We will definitely get those to you.
Great. Thank you.
Mr. Kemp?
Yes, thank you for the presentation. Just a couple quick questions. Do you have any type of bus service for the students coming? So besides, I guess, pick up and drop off, are there also buses that accommodate bringing students in or taking them out?
We do. We actually currently have 7 routes that go from both sides of the city or both sides of Mulholland, if you want to say. About 35% of our students use busing right now. And so that happens in the morning. These are the same buses that we use to bus our students off campus for the afternoon sports at, Balboa Park or Encino Little League or wherever else that we may end up, sending them to.
And in addition to that, wait just a second, I lost my train of thought for 1 second. In addition to that, there's an existing TDM program at the existing campus on the, at the west of the 405. And that TDM will certainly be carried forth dealing with ride sharing and all those type of activities in a TDM program. Those will be brought forward to the Milken East campus as well.
Okay. And then last question I have, just as far as traffic, I realize sort of your operation obviously is different from the AGU that was there. And obviously they had students on campus. Has there been any analysis of the difference between traffic versus your operation and what was there?
We have, our traffic consultant, Gibson Consulting, has, I think, looked at those numbers, but we've, the AJU CUP is sort of so convoluted in its uses. It is, there could be 500 college students, and there can be 400 high school students, but only 200 of those can be there at one time, and those have to be at night. And then there's another 500 adult education allowed for at night. So bottom line is, their uses are spread between some daytime, some nighttime. They have like 1,200 at night. And so it's not really apples to apples, but nevertheless, if Sarah Drobus from Gibson Transportation is here and would be available to answer any further questions on that, or we could, we could also submit something to you along those lines. But it's so convoluted that we want this project to stand on its own. It's a new CUP, so there's no confusion in the future about what type of students can be here and when and what hours and all of that. It's a long way of answering your question, but we've internally certainly looked at that.
Well, I appreciate that. Yeah, I realize it's really a hard comparison. So yeah, I was just curious. Obviously,
Michael,
you guys have had discussions.
Michael, the other thing just to know is we already have students parking on the site. So even though we're not running our upper school program on the site, our junior class already parks there. So we actually, and then we have commuter shuttles that bring them back over. So there's a little bit of that already happening, and we will have Gibson study it really specifically.
Okay, thank you. Mhm.
Ms. Templeton.
I have a couple of questions, and the first one, I just wanted to clarify. So at this point, there is no draft CUP. We're just being asked to weigh in on the concept of a new CUP changing from the mishmash of AJU's number of people to a high school with 900 some odd students. Is that correct?
Yes.
That's correct, and that includes the sequel portion of it too, which we will be working with planning department, and we'll keep you posted on that.
Yeah. And then my question number two is, have there been any in your traffic studies about the impact on Mulholland going westbound for turning left to get onto the freeway, and about then the increased traffic that might result from parents dropping off and picking up their kids?
I think one thing, Patricia, and then I'll let Gibson answer it, is juniors and seniors drive typically. So they'll be driving onto campus and parking there. They will not be coming back out and making left turns to get back on the 405. I don't know if Gibson wants to answer beyond that.
Yeah, that would be Sarah Drobus from who's in the waiting room.
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
Sarah?
Hi, can you hear me?
Yes, we can.
Okay, I think that these are really, let's see, hold on one second. Can you see me and hear me?
Yes, we can.
No, okay. These are great questions. We have not done our traffic analysis, but that's one of the things that we will be looking at is how many trips are on the street system today. How does this project change and affect circulation at these adjacent study intersections, including the ones that you just mentioned in terms of getting on and off the freeway, especially during the commuter peak congestion times. So we're in the process, and we'll be taking a look at that as part of the entitlement request.
Thank you. Thanks, I appreciate it.
And Ms. Miner, I see your hand up. Is that a legacy hand, or do you have additional questions? Okay, she's still muted, so I am going to ask a couple questions. What's happening to the dormitories? If you're not going to have students there, are they going to be repurposed into something different?
So we haven't gotten that far yet. We do not plan to have students living in those dormitories, but we don't know what the plans are yet. Our focus right now has been on the renovation of the academic building, and the reason for that is enrollment is up significantly and exerting a lot of pressure on our current campus. So it's really of significant importance to us that we move our upper school students to the new campus, to the former AJU, so that we can move our middle school students to our current upper school campus.
And let me just get some clarification on that too. You have a current campus now, and what are the grades
Yeah.
that are
So our current campus is grades 6th through 12th grade. There are sort of two parts of one campus. If you pull into Zeldin's Way and take a right, it's the middle school campus, and to the left is the upper school campus, but you can walk. It's really one campus.
So that
sorry.
campus is all going to be, when this process, if
Yes.
the CUP is approved, are all of the high school kids going to be at the old AJU, and then
Correct. Yes.
Okay.
That's the plan.
And then the other campus, the older campus, is going to be all middle school kids?
All middle school kids, yes.
Okay. And you said that that's going to be over a period of oh, wait a minute. So that's going to happen, but then on top of that as well, there's going to be an increase in enrollment of the high school kids, right?
Yes, gradually. I mean, it's not going to happen all at once. And I think, there has already been a gradual enrollment in the school. And I think one of the things that we're seeing is, given the context of the larger world, and I think what Jewish students are facing in public school and in secular independent schools, there is more and more interest in attending a Jewish day school. So we've seen that actually happening over the
What is
past.
a Jewish day school? Like I've heard you say that, and I'm just ignorant. Like, what does
No,
that
no,
mean?
it's okay. So, Milken is a school. Actually, you don't have to be Jewish to attend, but it's founded on Jewish values. And so, students who attend the school take a Jewish studies class, they take a Hebrew class. There's a very active Jewish community, celebration of Jewish holidays. About 95% of the students do have one Jewish parent, some don't. They just love the values and ethics of the school. But I think one of the pieces that our families really value is it's a really safe place to be proud and Jewish on campus.
And the
And
day, like, what is that? Why is it called
I
a
don't know, that's just sort of the way it's described. I'm not sure where that
I,
comes from. Yeah.
let me ask, I think the way that came down, the day school aspect was sort of a comparison with AJU. AJU, has day school, night school, all of
Ah,
that. And so it's really just a reference, this is going to be a normal high school with, normal high school hours.
Yeah, exactly.
and so what would be the
Okay.
total enrollment like after the increase?
Well, we're asking for the CUP, we're asking for the revision of the CUP on the AJU site to go to 900 students.
So 900, and then what happens? Is there also going to be a corresponding increase in the middle school students at the other school?
Probably, again, over time. So the current middle school is at about 300 students, and I would anticipate that going to something like 400, 425 students.
And is that within the scope of the CUP
It
for that
is,
one?
yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay. Well, and so, Miss Greenberg.
I just had two silly questions. I believe in what you do. I am who you are, but you're still going to allow the people from Stephen S. Wise to use your campus for the high holiday parking.
Yeah, of course, Rob. Yeah, I mean, it's really important to us to be good neighbors. And in fact, it's not only Stephen Wise for high holiday parking. It's, when Curtis had their fair, they used our parking. We share with Skirball. Like, we want to be a resource for the community. That's who we are. We have a very, very close relationship with Stephen Wise, as I'm sure you know, lots of old history. And their students are really our students. We want to work really closely with them and really all the schools and organizations on the corridor.
And the last silly question, if you're going down the hill Cassiano and you're turning right toward Beverly Glen, Mulholland sometimes has cars parked on Mulholland right there, even though I think you're not supposed to spend a
Yeah,
lot
they're
of
not
time.
supposed to. Yeah.
So just keep an eye on it because we see it, we come, we go, we're always around, and there's a tendency just to have a lot of parking right there.
Yeah. I mean, Robin, one thing, we haven't worked together very closely, but one thing that I know our neighbors could tell you is when there have been issues with our students and parents, we are all over it. And we are not afraid to take away their parking privileges, their privileges on campus. So the HOA knows that they have a direct line to us and that when we get a report, we act on it immediately.
Thank you.
And I just have just a handful of clarifying questions, and then we'll turn it over to the public comment period. But who's going to be the decision maker on the CUP? Like, is it the City
Planning
Planning
Commission,
Commission?
City Planning Commission.
Okay. And do you anticipate doing environmental review, or is this going to be something that you're trying to get an exemption from?
I think where we're trying to get an exemption from, I think there are a couple of class of exemptions that we fall into, but we're in the process of doing, the reports that dealing with, noise and air quality and all the things that you need to look at to prove that up.
Okay.
And so we're working, it's a long way of saying we're working on that.
Got it. Okay, so I think it's now time to move to the public comment period. I recognize that there's a lot of people in the audience. So if I could do this, if you could please raise your hand if you would like to participate so that I can get a count of how many people would like to participate. I'll give you I'm seeing some, and then I'm going to count them up, and that's going to help me understand how many minutes everyone should get. Let's see here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23. Okay, so there's 23 people that have their hands up, or 22 people. At this point, I'm going to ask everyone to keep their comment to a minute. I know that there was one person who said that she was wanting to speak on behalf of other people. I think that's appropriate and I will allow that. So if that person can just remind me when they start to speak, we will go ahead and allow her additional minutes for those people that she's speaking on behalf of. So we're going to go one by one, and I'm going to I'm going to announce the name of the person, and then Miss Greenberg is going to unmute you. Hopefully, we can do this efficiently, and let's get started. Fariba.
Hi, can you hear me?
Yes.
Okay, I just had a few questions. I wanted to start off by asking what what type of analysis you guys have done with traffic and if it would be done during normal hours of the high traffic times, like at around 8 a.m. and at 5 p.m. Because as someone who lives in this neighborhood and goes to work and has to be at work at a specific time, the traffic is already insane. Like, it's, to me, adding this whole prospect of having 900 students who, I understand some students will be having their own cars, you can't necessarily guarantee that people aren't going to be getting dropped off or picked up and having Uber and Lyft take them to school. So I I just don't see this being something as like realistic, and if it was to occur, there would need to be some strategic traffic plan or traffic control for getting in and out of the neighborhood, at least to start with. Has anything been done regarding that
Thank you
analysis?
very much, Fariba. Concluding thoughts? Okay, so
Concluding thoughts for this question specifically, or
no, yeah, just we're getting you're at your 1 minute. I just want to say, do you have anything else you'd like to add?
oh, um, what else have you guys done regarding the security concerns, such as ensuring students won't be loitering within the neighborhood? My other point was, if this were to occur, I think that the least that Milken School can do is provide a gate for this neighborhood just to ensure safety, since 900 students is a lot.
Thank you so much. We appreciate your comments, and I'm sure that I'm going to ask the applicant to take notes because and so let's move on to the next person. I apologize. I'm sure I'm not going to say your name correctly. Daryush.
Hi there. My name is Sunny. I'm Daryush's wife.
And
Okay,
Darius
great.
is here. We're both here.
And we're both here. So good evening. My name is Sunny Rad and my husband Daryush. We actually live in Bel Air Crest. We're neighbors for the past 10 years, and we have 3 children, 2 who've attended Milken and have graduated, and 1 currently there in 11th grade. This project is deeply meaningful to us because Milken has been more than just a school for our family. It's been a bridge to the broader Los Angeles community through volunteer programs, service learning, and partnerships beyond the campus. My children have learned what it means to give back and stay engaged with the world around them. And as a parent, I've seen firsthand how Milken teaches its students to be engaged citizens. And as a neighbor, I also see how the school invests in being a good community partners. Their commitment to safety, emergency preparedness, managing traffic are just a few examples of how their presence benefits everyone who lives here. And this plan strengthens both the school and our neighborhood. And I really support this project and ask the committee to do as well. Thank you
Thank
for
you
your
so much.
time.
We appreciate that, and thank you for staying within your time limit. Sally.
Sally, can you hear us?
We hear you, Sally.
Okay. Try it one more time. Sally, can you hear us? Okay, we're going to move on to the next person, and you can, if we can resolve this, I'll allow you to speak again. Sarah Kay.
Hi, everyone. Can you hear me?
Yes.
Great. So good evening. My name is Sarah Kashani. I live a few blocks away from Milken East Campus. As both a neighbor and a proud Milken parent, I've had a front row seat to how thoughtfully Milken has approached their transition into the former AJU campus. From day one, they've prioritized safety, communication, and respect for the neighborhood. I especially appreciate their proactive outreach, letting us know what's happening on campus, coordinating with the HOA, and making sure there's always someone available to answer our questions. Milken has shown they operate responsibly in a manner that benefits both students and neighbors. I'm proud to support this project, and I'm very excited, so thank you.
Thank you so much. Next person that I have here is Deborah Arden.
Yes, I'm here. Can you guys hear me?
Yes.
Hi, good evening. My name is Deborah Arden. I'm a longtime resident of Bel Air Crest. I've actually been living here for 15 years. I think there is no question that Milken is an asset to the area. From what we heard, all the measures that they've taken to improve fire safety and security in and around the campus. They clearly care for the property and the campus. The security presence is visible and their communication with neighbors is very consistent and responsive. I think they've also shown that they're very aware of the traffic issues. They are planning to leave an open lane for traffic for the neighbors in and out of the community to prevent any kind of backups. As for their plans to increase enrollment over time, I think it's completely reasonable. We all know how much demand there is, as they've said, for a safe and Jewish educational institution in LA, and Milken has proven that they can manage it very responsibly. They are talking about growing slowly over many years, and I fully support approving Milken's CUP application and its continued work to strengthen preparedness on the hillside. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, Deborah. Appreciate that. The next person that I have here is Armin. Armin Bertani.
Can you hear me?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay. My biggest concern with this project is the enrollment. I've lived on Casiano for the past 15 years, and AJU had an enrollment of 225 students who lived on campus, that were not dropped off, and you're proposing to go to 900. That's a huge change. And I think an environmental impact report is absolutely necessary for the public and for the decision makers to know what the impact of this project will be on the traffic, on the noise, air quality, and the impact to the neighborhood. I mean, this is question of public transparency, and the community has to know what's going to happen, and the decision makers have to know what's going to happen to when this kind of enrollment change is happening in the school. The CUP that currently is there is from 1966, and I think that a new environmental impact report is essential to understand the full impact of this project on the community.
Thank you so much, Armin. Appreciate that. The next person that I have is Arlena. And if you've already spoke, could you please reduce your lower your hand so I know how many attendees are left? So Arlena.
Are you saying Alina?
Alina, excuse me, Alina.
Yes. Alina, can you hear us?
Yes, can you hear me?
Yes.
Yes. So good evening, committee, and thank you for your time. My name is Alina Vartani. And now let's address the elephant in the room. The Class 1 categorical exemption filed under CEQA Section 15301. The applicant claims this project qualifies as existing facilities involving negligible or no expansion of existing use. They check the box stating none of the exemptions in CEQA guidelines section 15300.2 apply. Let me read this section. The significant effect exception. A categorical exemption shall not be used when there is a reasonable possibility that the activity will have a significant effect on the environment due to unusual circumstances. Let's talk about the unusual circumstances. First, we're not talking about interior renovation to maintain an existing use. We're talking about transforming a campus that operated carefully staggered evening and weekends programs into a full day, 5 days for a full day. Now we're going to 5 days a week high school. Sorry about that. Going to high school serving 900 teenagers, from adults to teenagers. Second, the traffic impacts alone are extraordinary. AJU programs were specifically conditioned to operate during off-peak hours. A high school generates peak hour morning and afternoon traffic, precisely when our residential streets are most congested, as well as wise traffic.
Alina, you're currently at 2 minutes. If you could please wrap up.
Yes. Third, applicant offers a second campus. The cumulative impact of 1,200 students around across 2 campuses have never been evaluated. We definitely need a full CEQA report. No exceptions.
Thank you so much. The next person, I think I've already called on Svetlana. If you could lower your hand if you've already spoken, that would help me greatly. The next person I have is Marcia Mankoff.
Hi, everyone. Can you hear me?
Yes.
Wonderful. My name is Marcia Mankoff. My husband, Doug, and I have lived in Bel Air for almost 25 years and have raised our family here. I am also a proud Milken alumni parent, so I'm here with sensitivities to the needs of both Milken and the neighborhood and the residents of Bel Air. One thing that sets Milken apart from many other schools is that everything the school does originates from the question, what are our core values and how do these values shape the way we approach this situation? This question, I know, will continue to guide the school's choices and behavior as they begin to create their new joy-filled campus at the former AJU. Some examples of Milken's core values are building a joyful, welcoming community, treating others with dignity and kindness, and taking responsibility for self and others. The administration, faculty, and students of Milken hold these values at the highest regard. As a member of both the Bel Air community and the Milken school community, I can say with confidence that Milken is the kind of neighbor that we should want in Bel Air. I urge you to approve Milken's CUP application so that this important project can move forward in service of both their students and the community. Thank you so much for your time.
Thank you, Marcia. I appreciate it. The next person that we have is Sharona.
Hi, everyone.
Hello there.
Hi, my name is Sharona Hanasab. I do actually live in Bella Cresta as well. And I am a proud parent of actually 3 students at Milken. 2 have graduated. 1 is in 9th grade. And I'm here to talk in support of Milken's application for a CUP. I want to let you guys know that this school leads with integrity. They put thought, planning, and their heart in everything they do. My kids have grown up to be proud Jewish students and grown-ups, and we are as parents very proud to watch them. And I honestly think that, as Sarah mentioned, our community is there is a huge demand for a safe school, for a safe Jewish environment for our kids. And I honestly encourage you guys to approve the application and trust them that they know how to do what they're good at, raising good Jewish kids into grown-ups, into safe adults for our community. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Sharona. We appreciate it. The next person that we have is another Sharona. So Sharona Bell L Park resident, you're next.
Hi, can you hear me?
Yes.
Okay, so Svetlana actually didn't speak. I can say
Miss Palmer just mentioned that to me, and I will ensure that she will speak next.
okay, thank you. Well, thank you for your time tonight. The facts in the city records are clear. AJU was approved decades ago for a maximum enrollment of 500 students. The cap reflects the limits of the site, its hillside access, and its small campus design. But in reality, AJU never came close to that number, as you guys may well know. City filings show that in 2008, the university had less than 200 students. For the past 20 years, total enrollment has hovered around 100 students, not 500. This means the 900 figure that Milken is now referencing has no factual basis in the property's historical use or its entitlements. The site has operated for decades as a small academic campus, not a large-scale institution. And what might have been tolerable traffic-wise in 1966 is simply not sustainable today, as you all may know. Cassiano Road is already congested with existing school traffic from Wise, Milken, and other buses that pick up and drop off here. Expanding far beyond the site's original 500 student limit would bring consequences the city never studied or approved. The bottom line, AJU was designed and approved for 500. It's always been close to 100. There's no justification for multiplying the number by nearly 10 times without the full environmental impact report and a hard look at what this neighborhood can realistically handle.
Thank you so much. We appreciate that. Now I'm going to go back to Svetlana. Go ahead and let you speak.
Yes, hi, thank you. I was like,
sorry about that. I forgot you spoke during the general public comment period.
Hello, everyone. So I'm Svetlana Kasman. I'm the homeowner at Bel Air Park. And I will speak for roughly about 3 minutes because 2 other homeowners are donating their time to me.
Understood, no problem.
Great. So traffic congestion on Mulholland around Milken School is already gridlocked every morning and afternoon, as someone mentioned already. Cars back up in both directions, blocking traffic on Mulholland, forcing commuters to sit through long delays and be unable to leave the neighborhoods. Compounding the problem is the traffic on Cassiano Road from Stephen S. Wise Elementary School, as well as traffic on Mulholland from Curtis School, Berkeley Hall School, Merman School, as well as many school buses picking up and dropping off kids from schools outside this area, for example, Brentwood School. Now, Milken's proposal to add 900 more students, high school students, and 200 teachers and staff will turn an already difficult situation into a complete disaster. Cassiano is a narrow road with only one way in and one way out. The queues will fill an entire lane, leaving no room for residents, school buses, or emergency vehicles. The original CUP was for up to 500 college-age students. And that CUP was done, as it was mentioned, in 1966, before any residential neighborhoods, before any other schools. Also, college students have variable schedules, and some were not commuting, they were living on campus. So, however, 900 high school students will be here all at the same time. And come to think of it, historically, we never even had 500 students here. As it was already mentioned, most we had about 100 students. I don't think we can handle even the allowed 500 that we're allowed right now. It's not about the inconvenience, and we're very happy that Milken is here. We are, believe me. I mean, you've heard us about at the UEF hearings, and we were very unhappy. We are happy about Milken being here, but it's about safety. The proposed expansion will gridlock our neighborhoods and put lives at risk. The city must require a traffic study, which we believe will prove that this is a dangerous and unsustainable expansion. Another quick mention that the Milken representative mentioned that partnership with community is their top priority. That hasn't been our, unfortunately, experience. They never gave us any straight answers to any of our questions. They mentioned 2 accidents, and that's before even adding the 900 students. There is no transportation report that we're aware of. They're misrepresenting the existing versus the asking CUP. They're planning to demolish the dorms, which Mark failed to mention. They're planning to build a stadium instead of the dorms. What are they doing with the dorms? They told us they're gonna build a stadium there. That's right next to our residences. The moving drop off and pickup is moving into our residential area. I mean, there's so many questions that this needs to be, there needs to be more and more meetings like this before, you know, things can move on.
Well,
But
thank you,
900
Svetlana.
is crazy.
We appreciate your comment.
Thank you so much for giving me the time. I appreciate that.
Understood. And because it's 8:45 and we haven't had committee deliberation yet, and we have another project on the agenda, I'm going to start to share my screen with a timer with 1 minute so that everyone kind of can see what we need to accomplish in order to get through our business tonight. So the next person I want to call on is Marlene. Go ahead, Marlene.
Can you hear me?
Yes.
I'm so excited you started the timer for me.
Sorry. Someone had to start somewhere.
My name is That's true. My name is Marlene Hakaka, and I happen to be Jewish, and I value the values that Milken is coming to share with the community, and I think it's terrific. I am terrified at the traffic situation that is going to happen. And the Bel Air Crest families that are calling in on this conversation, they don't have to drive through the drive that we have to drive through. It's already very crowded and very busy. I don't understand how they're filing for an exemption from the CEQA requirement, because for the safety of the students, for the safety of everybody, we need real information. And a football field, if they're building a sports field, oh my gosh, what kind of traffic is that going to be at night? Thank you for listening. My 1 minute is up. Have a good night.
Thank you so much. The next person that we have is Alex.
Good evening, everybody. Can you all hear me?
Yes.
Yes, we can.
Hi, my name is Alex Remenfar. I am a proud Milken alum, was born, raised, and lived off Cassiano for more than 30 years, and have recently returned as a resident of Colina Strada, just up the road from Milken, where I'm raising my 2 sons. I'm here tonight to share my support for the school CUP application. Firstly, I'd like to echo the sentiments shared by those in support of the CUP application and thank the representatives of Milken for their continued transparency and willingness to remain open in their communications. I could tell you that as a neighbor and working parent, and as others have said, traffic is important. And on that, I commend the school for making it a priority to keep the neighborhood access uninterrupted. I appreciate that. As one example, they will actively manage a busy drop-off and pickup to prevent cars from backing up on Cassiano. I'd also like to make a correction that I don't believe it's 900 additional students. It's only increasing the CUP to 900 students. This is an all-around responsible plan that lets a respected school grow while protecting the quality of life and security in our neighborhood. And I urge you to support this project. Thank you all and have a good night.
Thank you so much. Next person that we have here is Mona. Did you already speak? I can't recall. Mona?
So I have not spoken
Okay,
yet.
go ahead. You're next.
Thank you. I know that I only have a minute.
Yeah, it gave me literally a minute and a half of timer on counting down. So I was like reading it as fast as I could.
Okay. Hi, my name is Mona Jarvani. I'm a resident of Bella Park. I'm speaking to address concerns regarding the proposed CUP changes to the AJU campus and the improper CEQA exemption filing. Mind you, they have already filed for CEQA exemption. The original CUP, as mentioned before by the other homeowners, did address the maximum 500 college students, the maximum 400 high school students that were bused in, 200 at a time for religious instruction, and maximum 500 adults for evening education. Please note that there were no more than 500 students that were permitted on this campus at any given time. There was a reason why the CUP originally was done this way, because it was staggered activity for our community, because it cannot sustain the numbers that Milken is applying for. We are happy that Milken is here, but we do need to address the number that they are asking for.
All right, thank you so much, Mel. We really appreciate your comment. The next person that we have here is Janine.
Hi, good evening. I'm Janine Kaladny, and first, I really want to commend you on running an extremely efficient meeting. So I appreciate it, and I will definitely stay within the 1 minute. I am a very proud neighbor, and I'm a proud Milken alumni parent. Both my kids went through Milken. For a short time, I even worked at Milken. I am a past president of Stephen Wise Temple, and I can speak firsthand to the incredible professionalism, proactiveness, and the relationship that Milken is striving to achieve with our neighborhood. I know that they will take care of all of us. They are doing everything with full transparency. And I echo all the positive comments that were said before me. I don't want to repeat them, but I hope we can all commend and really appreciate the fact that we are going to have an outstanding neighbor on Cassiano, and it will benefit the entire neighborhood. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much. The next person that we have here is Alex.
That was good.
Did he speak?
Oh, okay. Sorry. Next person that we have here is Amit.
Oh.
Yeah, good evening. My name is Amit Kenny, and I'm a homeowner on Cassiano Court, which is adjacent to the campus. I'd like to corroborate a lot of the positive sentiments so far about Milken's communication, transparency, professionalism, and thanks Sarah, Danny, Carlos, Mark. At the same time, we do need to address this enrollment number of 900, as many people have said. How can you do it? How can you know what the traffic will be like if a traffic study hasn't been conducted with 540 students, 200 plus staff and faculty? I know they haven't said they're going to build a stadium or tear down the dorms, and they don't know what they're going to do yet, and I believe them. I think that they've been very honest. They have provided us a direct line to them to report any problems, and I believe that they will continue to do so and address those issues. But at the same time, we will need a traffic study conducted accurately, and we should not allow a CEQA exemption. Thank you so much for your time.
Thank you. All right, the next person that we have here is Karen. Karen?
Hi, sorry, I was just looking for the mute. Hi, I'm Karen Fury. I live on Cassiano Road. My kids did attend a Jewish day school, so I really value that, and I'm pleased that Milken is our neighbor now. The couple things that we do have to really keep in mind is that it is Milken's duty to keep the minor children there safe, and with that in mind, we need to talk about evacuation in case there's a fire. A fire could happen in the daytime. And it would be quite a feat to get 900 students off the campus. We know that WISE has a dirt road as another evacuation route out of their campus. And we would like to think that maybe Milken would consider something like that. In addition, we know that Truesdale neighborhood in Beverly Hills just did a practice evacuation, and we should probably look at something like that to see if it would be practical to get that many students, including all of our neighbors, out if there's a fire.
Thank you so much, Karen. Appreciate your comments. The next person is Gila.
It's Gila. Hi, can you hear me?
Yes, ma'am, and I apologize if I mispronounced your name.
That's okay. And my name is Gila Golbahar. I live on off of Cassiano Road for past 35 years. Very proud of Milken. My two girls went to Milken. We had a very good experience. But now I have some suggestion. Everybody was complaining. I know, I understand about 900 kids, but I have some suggestions. Can we ask Milken to provide us some more security? Can we ask Milken to provide us with a gate? Because 900 kids are gonna come, walk on the Cassiano Road. I don't know if they smoke, they drink. We don't know what's gonna happen to us. So we need a good security system. For the people in Bel Air Crest, would you mind opening your gate so we can come through Bel Air Crest to Sepulveda in the morning? Because it's very crowded here and we don't appreciate, you know, we love Milken to be here, but we need more security. Maybe you can have more cameras for us. Maybe we can have your own fire department for us. These are just no, you have your own satellite, but it's on your school. It's not on our street. Also the fire department. So if they can help us out with some security, we appreciate it. Thank you so much for listening.
Thank you so much.
You're welcome.
The next person we have here, and I'm gonna apologize in advance. I'm gonna mispronounce his name. Bahara or
Hi, this is Bahara. How are you?
Bahara.
Yes.
Yes. Go ahead.
All right. So I've lived up here for 30 years. I had a script, but I'm just going to go from the heart. I'm very familiar with Milken and the school. My kids went to a Jewish preschool. No one's questioning Milken or the values that they teach. I'm happy that they're coming here. I am terrified at the traffic. I have lived up here so long, asking to have more middle school students and 900 high school students. All the traffic on Mulholland, all the people coming up from that street from the valley, all the people coming up Woodcliff, all of us who need to get down Cassiano. Right now, just making a left turn to get onto the freeway in the morning takes sometimes 20 to 30 minutes. And now this is going to increase, I don't know, 1,000-fold. We already have a ton of buses up here in the morning. Our street is only 2 lanes going up, 2 lanes going down. I don't know how you're going to avoid backing traffic up. And we're going to have teenage drivers, and we all know teenagers are not the best drivers. So this is a huge safety concern. And we do live in a fire zone. If there's a fire during the day, I'm really nervous about all of that. So we have to have a traffic report done. Thank you.
So much. Next person we have is Dora.
Hello.
Hi.
Hi.
Hi. My battery just went, but here I go. Can you hear me?
Yes, we can hear you.
Okay, my name is Dora Manabi. I'm a 29-year resident of Bel Air Park. The Eaton fires and the Palisades fires are fresh in our memory. And we learned that we can't trust the fire department alone to protect us from fires. We have to plan ahead. But I also want to remind you of the campfire in the city of Paradise in 2018, where there were 85 fatalities because there were not enough evacuation routes with the existing roads. And that is what we have right now. Milken is proposing 540 to 900 students plus 200 staff on top of the Wise Temple students. And in case of emergency, we have to open up the gates to Bel Air Crest to go through the same road on Cassiano. And I just don't see how we can have thousands of people going through the same road. And so this is a safety issue. We need to limit the number of people and cars coming into our community because city planning failed the people of Paradise, and we need you to protect us with your planning.
All right. Thank you so much, Dora. I really appreciate that. The next person that we have here is Omid.
Can you hear me?
Yes.
Yes, go ahead.
Yes, good evening. And my name is Omid Kashani. I'm a resident just a few blocks from Milken's East Campus. We've lived here for a little over 4 years now. Someone who calls this neighborhood home, and as a longtime Milken parent, we have our twins going here. I've had the opportunity to witness firsthand how carefully and considerably Milken has handled their move into the former AJU site. From the beginning, they've demonstrated a clear commitment to safety, open communication, and being good neighbors. I particularly value their ongoing engagement with the community, whether it's through timely updates, collaborating with our HOA, or simply being responsive and available when questions come up. Milken has shown time and again that they're approaching this project with integrity and care, keeping both student well-being and community harmony at the forefront. I personally and my family, we fully support their efforts, and I'm proud to stand behind this initiative, and I wish them all the best.
Thank you so much. The next person that we have is Sharon. Sharon?
Okay, can I go?
Yes, go ahead.
Okay. So my name's Sharon Jones, and I urge this committee to support Milken's request for CUP. All of us here share the hillside. We drive the same roads and face the same fire risks. So safety and emergency preparedness are very real concerns for everyone who lives here. I applaud Milken and value their efforts for the proactive steps they are taking since coming to the site. The brush clearance, the evacuation planning, the detailed emergency preparedness, and their willingness to extend those efforts beyond their own gates. These actions don't just protect the school, they make the whole neighborhood safe. And living here in LA in the fire area, we all have this problem, and there are many schools, and I really feel we can all find a way to be proactive and to let this pass. A very, very big yes for their plans. Thank you and have a good evening.
Thank you so much. Appreciate your comments, Sharon. The next person that we have to speak is Sally. Sally?
Hi, good afternoon.
There you go. Go ahead.
Hello. Hi, my name is Sally Trifon, and I've lived in this neighborhood for over 25 years, and I'm here to share my support for Milken. As both a Wise and a Milken alum, I have both driven and passengered these streets for over 40 years, and I know how serious the school takes safety, and I fully support their plans. For the Milken East Campus, the school investment in security and preparedness have already made the campus and the surrounding area safer and better protected. I have seen AJUs used for multiple purposes, and I would be excited to see that school thrive with a responsible student body again. In addition, the 900 students that we are seeking are not all drivers, and I'm confident that Milken Security and the entire staff will prohibit students from loitering and will fully take into consideration the neighborhood, the security, the safety, and all those around. As a neighbor, I welcome them with open arms and respectfully ask that you support their plans. Thank you so much and have a fabulous evening.
Thank you, ma'am. All right, the next person that we have here is Saul.
Thank you very much for the invitation to speak. I long-term resident actually on North Beverly Drive, which is beneath the hillside that you're referring to, equally difficult to exit and enter. 4 children graduated Milken. I'm a proud alum parent. Milken has consistently demonstrated its commitment to being a good neighbor, and there's no reason why anybody should think that they would do otherwise now. The school listens to feedback, it plans thoroughly and follows through on its commitments. I have total confidence that they will continue to do so. And I'd like to wish them every success in being the neighborly neighbors that they've always been and will continue to be. Have a good evening.
Thank you so much, sir. Appreciate it. All right, the next person that we have, this may be the very last person, is Alan.
Hi, you guys hear me?
Yes.
Okay, wonderful. So, very glad we're having this conversation. I'm very much in support of Milken, except that I do not agree with them. They should have more than 500 people in this campus. This campus was approved for maximum 500 people in 1966, and back then there was nobody up here. It was basically even on most of it was undeveloped. You cannot just say because people who run a Staples Center have good intention, let's put 200,000 people in there. It just does not make sense. And looks like nobody's trying, they're trying not to do any studies, not to go through CEQA, and just try to get to 900 by goodwill and saying good words and we're good neighbors. At some point, facts and reason and studies have to dictate what's going to happen over here.
All right, Alan, thank you for that.
Thank you.
Last call for anyone who is in attendance tonight that has not had an opportunity to speak. I see one hand up. We have Marlene.
Marlene spoke.
Marlene, did you?
I spoke, but there's a woman who is trying to speak. Beth Gal, she has her hand up. Do you see her in the system?
We do see her. We'll try to, Miss Greenberg, can you ask her to unmute herself?
Yes,
Yes.
right now.
Thank you.
Hi. Hi, can
Perfect.
you hear me?
Yes, ma'am. Go ahead.
Okay. My name is Beth Gall, and I've been a homeowner in Bel Air Park since 1996. A lot of people have echoed my feelings on the subject, but I did want to kind of go over the math. In the event of an earthquake or fire, the Castellano thoroughfare cannot handle the following populations. You've got 150 homes in Bel Air Park with about 3 people average per home. That's 450 people. Then you have 550 students, faculty, and staff from WISE. You've got 1,140 students and faculty with the proposed CUP by Milken. Plus, depending on the direction of the fire, the population from Bel Air Crest, which totals approximately, and these are very approximations, but about 1,000 people from Bel Air Crest and about 763 people from Mountain Gate, all trying to get down Castellano at once, again, depending on the direction of the fire. So now you have a total of 4,000 people trying to get out of here during a fire. And even with the Skirball fire, and there was no presence at AJU, it took some of us an hour to get out of the neighborhood in December of 2017. So it absolutely is a fire hazard. It's a traffic hazard. And I would implore Milken, well, I'm not even going to go there. Sorry. I would ask the BAB CNC Planning and Use Committee to deny the CUP that they're requesting.
Thank you so much, Beth. We appreciate your comments. I see a new hand raised by Shauna.
Yes. Hi there. Can you hear me okay?
Yes, ma'am.
Great. I echo the sentiments of my neighbors here at Bel Air Park. The traffic and neighborhood impact is obviously one that's on our top concern, the environment and community concerns as well. However, I did want to mention for those at Bel Air Crest residents, are they going to be using the back gate to bring their students through this neighborhood? Because that's going to create more of a traffic concern on Castellano than it already is. Because they do have access to that back gate. So that's a question I had, and I want to address that and see how about we can go about, making sure that that's not going to be the case.
All right, thank you so much.
Mm-hmm.
I see one more hand raised. Deborah, did you?
She already spoke.
Let's see if she has a question. Deborah, do you have a question for us before we proceed to deliberation?
I did speak already, but I don't know if you want me to answer that question since I live in Bel Air Crest. I wanted to assure you guys that we actually cannot go through that back gate unless it is an emergency and it's opened by our HOAs. It is not our option to drive through there.
Okay, thank you so much for that clarification.
Mhm.
I think that we have given everyone an opportunity to speak at this point. So I'm going to go ahead and close.
They all have access.
I'm going to go ahead and close the public comment period. And so now we're going to move into the deliberation phase. I guess there could be some additional. Actually, you know what? Let's do this. This is what's appropriate. Would the applicant's representative like to respond to any of the questions or comments that were raised by the public tonight?
I think, oh, Mark, go ahead.
I was just going to say, we are definitely aware of the traffic and emergency evacuation and all those type of concerns. And that's why we are in the process of having a traffic study done, taking all of those things into account. This is helpful listening to the further comments tonight. And we made note of all of those. In addition, we have been meeting with the community.
Bobby, we're on the.
Let me just, Ms. Greenberg, can you
Yeah.
please mute?
I am doing that right now.
Okay, great. Go ahead, Mr. Armbruster.
Yeah, and we have been and will be continuing to meeting with the community, and again specifically addressing a lot of these comments. We are not here to compare AJU with what we're doing. This is this is a CUP for a high school that stands on its own, and that's what we're addressing. But the community should rest assured that we take all the traffic comments seriously and are working on those.
I would just, if it's okay.
Sure.
I just want to add, not that I have a specific response, but we took note on everything everyone said. We take your comments really seriously. And as Mark said, the safety and security is also really important to us. One thing I want to clarify is that it's not 900 additional students, that there are already 540 students, upper school students, many of whom, over half of whom, park at that property already. So we are asking for increased enrollment. We purchased the property to increase the enrollment. But we're not increasing it by 900. We're increasing it over time by an additional 360 students.
And I got a question that I'm sure that people probably would want an answer to is, I know that I heard some comments about, you said that there's going to be additional community engagement. What forum will that take place? Are you going to have meetings? Are you going to meet with HOAs? Are you going to, so tell us a little bit about what your plans are, because a lot of the data has not yet been collected, and it seems like there's a lot more information to provide. How are you going to present that to the community?
We have been meeting with the HOAs, Jamie. We plan to continue to do that.
Okay.
And I think, one of the things is, I know that the AJU enrollment was really, really low, and that's honestly why they had to sell the property. You can't run a 22-acre property with very few students on it. The economics of it don't work. So as we think about our student body, one of the things that we want to do is be in direct conversation with the neighborhood. And I appreciate what Amit said about, it's not that he doesn't have concerns, he does, but that he trusts our transparency, our communication, and that we're taking the concern seriously, and we do. And so I think our plan is to continue to do meetings like this, smaller neighborhood meetings, so that we can really understand how to partner best with the community. Both the HOAs, the neighboring schools, institutions, Skirball, so that we're really good neighbors and partners going forward.
And how much time do you think you have? Like, I know you said, I think Mr. Armbruster said that he was hoping that the school could start operations in August of next year.
Yeah.
When do you think you might get a CPC hearing?
I'm hoping that we get a CPC hearing in possibly February of next year, of 2026.
Okay.
I know the planning staff has been, reviewing the applications and working on it. So, we are moving forward.
Okay, great. So I'm gonna, other committee members, we've heard from the public. It seems like that there's a lot of information that we probably would like to see before further before making a vote. I mean, taking a vote on this, but I will allow committee members to raise their hands and either entertain a motion or provide some additional commentary in light of the public comments. So let's see here. Ms. Minor. Ms. Minor?
Muted.
All right, let's move on to Ms. Templeton.
Okay, there.
Oh, no, Ms. Minor, go ahead.
Okay, that property is going to be used sooner or later by some organization. And we've had exposure to the worst of what could operate there. We now have the best. Nothing could be better than the way Milken operates. I understand the concerns. If I lived in that part of the Beverly Crest, I would have the same concerns. However, I think that Milken will be able to fill the gap of being able to figure this out and probably figure out what needed to be figured out for many years so far. And one of the things I didn't hear mentioned were carpools. My grandchildren go to a school that is concerned about congestion as well. And they have a rule that each student that comes in a car that drives students has to have at least 3 students in the car. And they're very strict about that. So so 900, let's say they all go in cars, divided by 3 is only 300. I mean, you could fool around with the facts and the numbers as much as you want, but the reality is common sense. And I believe that Milken has the common sense to figure this all out and make it all work. And I wouldn't, and I wouldn't doubt and question and want to, to change anything. I would really think that the best course of action would be to go along with the plan, approve the CUP, and get this going and have this positive, excellent situation go forward.
Thank you, Ms. Minor. Appreciate it. Ms. Templeton.
Okay, so it sounds like Milken has great intentions and could be an excellent partner for the neighborhood. But the residents have raised some serious concerns. And if I took notes, traffic is a major one, kids loitering in the neighborhood, fire evacuations, potential future plans for sports arena, which would be increased traffic and increased noise. They're objecting to a CEQA exemption. And then this is an off thing, but some people have mentioned gating Cassiano. I believe that Cassiano is a public street, and if so, it can't be gated. So I think it's premature for us to take a position on whether or not we approve a CUP for 900 people there. There are serious questions that need to be answered. The community has legitimate concerns. Not that they're insurmountable, but I think that we need some more concrete plans in order to opine on this. And I'm sure that Milken has the best of intentions, but as they say, the road to hell is paved with good intentions. And so I don't think we can rely on Milken's good intentions. And I think that the community wants and deserves real answers. So that my recommendation would be to table this until Milken can come back with some more concrete things after speaking to the neighborhood some more.
Thank you, Ms. Templeton. Do we have anyone else who's on the committee that would like to either have a comment or make a motion? Okay, I don't see any hands raised. So Ms. Templeton, would you like to make a motion?
Yes, I would make a motion that we table this until the Milken has further discussions with the neighbors and has a transportation study and additional responses to the issues that the community raised.
I second that. I second that, although I
Okay, we have a motion on the floor and a second by Ms. Weisberg, and I just want some clarification from Ms. Templeton. Is the intention there to ask the applicant to come back to the committee and present after receiving that information?
Yeah, at some future unspecified time, because it's going to take them some time to get the answers and to meet with the community. And my guess is that we're generally supportive, but not, unless there were answers to these serious questions.
So
may I add to that? May I
Sure.
recommend it to ask that in addition to a traffic plan, there's also an evacuation plan.
Or a shelter-in-place plan.
Okay.
Maureen Levinson.
Ms. Levinson?
Yeah, I was just wondering if Milken would entertain the thought, you know how they have snow days up north? That if you have the conditions of the dry, high wind days where they put out, the alerts, the red flag days, would they consider not having school that day? Or during the duration? That may help in case there was ever an evacuation. So I just wanted to throw that out there.
It's an idea for them to consider when they come back for sure.
Although I'd just point out that when the neighborhood was evacuated before, it was not a high wind day. And admittedly, it was a, exercise in caution because the wind was blowing the other way. The mild wind was blowing the other way. But the current AJU/Milken campus is at the top of a hill, and fire goes uphill very fast. And so even with low wind, there could be the need for a rapid evacuation.
Okay, so we have a motion and a second. We're in the deliberation phase. I would just like to express that the neighborhood council would like to be a vehicle to allow this conversation to occur. We feel like we're fulfilling our role under the charter. When we do that, I want to thank all the attendees for coming here tonight. And so I invite the applicant to come back. I respectfully request that we have a PowerPoint with actual, plans and along with the data. And if you bring your experts and you can kind of go over some of these things, it would be, we have a really, I think a board that knows, they're kind of experts on this subject in terms of development in hillside communities. And we know how to read and evaluate these kind of plans. So I'm in support of the motion. Would anyone else like to speak in favor of the motion? Okay, so let's go ahead and take a vote. All in favor of the motion on the floor, please raise your hand or say aye.
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 Okay. Please lower your hand. Anyone who's opposed to the motion, please say nay or raise your digital hand. Seeing none. Anyone? Okay, we got one opposition by Mr. Schlesinger. And then we have, is there anyone who's abstaining? We have 1, 2, 3 abstentions that I see. Dr. Longcore, Ms. Miner, and Ms. Greenberg. So 3 abstentions, 1 opposition from Mr. Schlesinger, and the remainder of the committee members are in support, so the motion carries. I want to thank the attendees again for showing up. We will, you can reach out to Ms. Miner, I'm sorry, Ms. Palmer, if you have questions about when this matter is going to be re-agendized. We don't have a date right now, but the applicant has obtained input from both the committee and the community, and they will be coming back to us in the future. We expect that to happen obviously before the CPC hearing because we want to be able to have a recommendation in the file so the City Planning Commission knows where the Neighborhood Council stands on that. Does the applicant have any questions?
No, I think we are all clear. We appreciate your time on this, and we will be working on all of these issues that have been raised, and look forward to getting back to you.
Thank you so much. We appreciate your time, all members of the applicant's team. All right, so the next item on the agenda, and thank everyone for staying late, is an item that I'm going to have to recuse myself on, and I will not be participating. So I'm going to turn off my camera and mute myself and ask to not be made a panelist. And Mr. Kemp is going to take over. And just for the record, I'm recusing myself because I'm the president of a nonprofit that has a prospective ownership interest in close proximity to the project site.
Robin, can you make me co-host it?
I just did
Yep.
that.
Yep, just so I can keep an eye.
Okay, well, again, thanks everyone for staying. I realize it's late. So, our next project, item number 7 on the agenda, it's 2166 North Stanley Hills Drive, referred to sometimes as parcels 2, ZA 2025-1386-CUI-HCA, and then also 2172 North Stanley Hills Drive, parcel 1, ZA 2024-6711-CU1-HCA. This is a project that the Planning and Land Use Committee did hear at our August meeting. There was a list of questions that came up from the committee that we have sent over to the applicant. And so we've asked the applicant to come back on this. And also, to my understanding, there was a hearing with the zoning administrator, I believe on November 4th. And I believe the project has been held over at this time. So do we have anyone from the applicant here?
Yes, I promoted them.
Okay.
Sami Ohanim,
Yes, I'm here.
Ruzbeth,
Yes, I'm here.
okay. Thank you.
Okay. So I guess as far as the applicant, if probably the first thing is, could you address the questions that were presented by the committee at the last meeting? We have them here in the agenda. I could go through them. The first one was, number 1, do you have an AQMD permit associated with the demolition permit?
Yes, we do.
Okay. Have you presented our administrator with a copy of that permit? Have you forwarded that to us? Or is that in your
It's not in my possession, but I can get it for you and send it to you guys.
Okay, if you could. Then question number 2 was the grading exceeds 1,000 cubic yards, or in cases for streets that are less than 20 feet wide, it's 750 cubic yards. And that's when properties are under common ownership, they're considered one site. And then the code section was referenced on that one. So in that case, so are you requesting a haul route for your grading?
Well, as I explained in the hearing as well, we are not going above 1,000 cubic yards of export. One property is about 410 cubic yards of export, and the other one is about the same cubic yards of export.
I guess the question would be, though, for streets that are less than 20 feet wide, it seems like the limit is 750 cubic yards. Are you over 750 cubic yards?
I'm not sure if that's correct. I will double check that with the city as well. But from my conversations, it's 1,000 cubic yards or more. More than 1,000 cubic yards. Sorry.
Okay. Item number 3 was side yard setbacks. I think one of our committee members mentioned, based on the height, and also too with the side yard setback, they felt it would be 6 feet on either side. I know, looking at your plans, in some cases you're 4 feet 9 or 5 feet. Have you addressed the side yard issue?
It's not an issue. Our lot width It's 37 and a half, and according to the zoning, it's 10%. So our starting point is at 3 feet 7 inches. So we have one level above, so it becomes 4 foot 7 inches, and we're at 4, 9, and 5. So we're above what's required.
Okay. Item number 4 is the rear yard retaining walls in the backyard show no freeboard on your drawing A 5.01. Will the 2 walls be taller than 10 feet, including the required freeboard?
No, we don't have 5.1 is a illustration. We don't looking at the if you look at the grading permit, our our walls have freeboards, and I can show them to you if you like. But we will do this as a separate permit and go through all the process with LADBS to provide exactly what they want according to code.
Okay, we did ask for spot elevations. Did you add spot elevations to your
It's the elevations of the retaining wall is in the grading plans.
on the grading plan that we have access to?
Correct.
Okay. Number 5 was the tree removals at the front of the property would allow road widening, which has historically been a benefit to the neighborhood. Will the trees in the front be removed? And then if so, will there be a one-to-one replacement?
So if we are denied the widening in front of the property, then yes, if there's any trees to be removed, we will replace them one-to-one.
Okay, and then number 6 was if you were to improve the road, I guess that the previous owner was going to do that. You could eliminate 6 feet of the 8 feet of dedication, and this would help you reduce your grading. Have
Yeah.
you addressed that, or
So
have you?
we're actually planning doesn't limit. They don't control the dedication. It's actually Bureau of Engineering, and I've been discussing this with them, and there's other properties that are on this street that have gone a 5 foot dedication. So we are requesting a 5 foot dedication, which will reduce our grading and export.
Okay. Item number 7 was for each house, because you have 2 houses that
Yes.
are proposed. It was to please verify the square footage per floor. And it was noted, some of the exemptions like 200 square, you can only allowed to, 200 square feet of the garage is exempt from the square footage. And any ceiling over 14 feet needs to be counted. Have you updated the square footage on your plans?
No, the square footages are the same. If I 2166 Stanley Hills Drive, it's a total of 2,091 square feet. It consists of 978 square feet on the first floor, 954 on the second floor, and 359 square feet of attached garage, which 200 square feet of that is exempt from calculation. We do not have 14-foot ceilings.
Okay. Have you submitted to building and safety, or are you just going
Yes,
through
and
the?
we have gotten preliminary zoning approval as well.
Okay, and your plan checker has checked your square footage?
Yes, they have.
Okay. Number 8 was confirm on-site parking spaces, both standard and compact.
So we
Sure, go ahead.
so we have one standard and one compact.
Okay. And then number 9 was to provide a parking and staging plan for the various phases of construction. Have you done a
Yes, we have a plan. I tried to upload it into the file. We also went to LADOT and we got a construction management plan for both properties. And I can try to share that. It's a big file, so I will,
Yeah.
I can attach it to the folder.
Could you share that plan tonight? Because I'm sure that's something that the committee would
Sure,
be interested in seeing.
let me see if I can, let me see if I can paste it into the drive. I just pasted it, so you guys can take a look at it.
Okay, I don't know if I can access, I tried accessing your drive earlier today and I was not able to get into it.
It's open to everybody. I spoke with when was it, a couple of days ago with Ms. Palmer, and she said she was able to access it, I believe.
Okay, okay. Let me see, I'll see if I can pull that up.
Hello, I do want to say that the last time he sent us a folder, people had trouble opening it, but Jamie went ahead and saved each individual PDF to a new link, and it's on our website. So if that's what you're talking about is contained in that prior folder that you sent us last time that we couldn't open, it is on the website now. Do you,
Okay, so Kathy, right, the link is on our website, is that correct?
yeah,
Okay,
it's called under supporting documents.
right,
And
right. Okay,
thankfully, the letters are in separate folders, so if there's only two links, and one of them is his.
yes, I'll see it. Well, so committee, maybe while we'll kind of run through this, and then while there's maybe questions to the applicant, I'll see if I can pull up that that parking plan for construction. Just seeing number 10, just including updated information on the plans. And then number 11 was the minimum state fire regulations. This came up for new construction and access by roads less than 20 feet wide. Well, the minimum requirement is that they do have 20 feet in width. So have you guys addressed as far as the state fire regulations? And that you actually may be required to widen the street, at least in front of your place?
Yeah, I have spoken with the ZA for this as well, and I'm waiting for them to respond regarding this code section that you guys are referring to.
Okay. I think with that, I'll open it up to the committee for any questions they may have, and then we will go to the public if anyone wants to speak. So, committee members, anyone? I'm looking for hands. Any comments? Travis, did you want to speak?
I was just interested by the ZA question about the fire safe regulations, because it is very, very clear in those regulations that it has to be not just in front, that you need the full 20 feet with the 2 lanes all the way to the edge of the zone, or some practical equivalent. And we'd be very curious to learn how the ZA interprets that.
I guess too, I was trying to pull the plan. Stephanie, are you here? Did you, because I know Stephanie, you were involved in the questions that were presented at the last meeting. Did you want to add to those questions or ask for any more insight on those questions?
Yes, I attended the hearing and I made 5 points at that hearing of major concerns. I didn't mention the minor concerns I had, but there is a precedent for widening the roads in front of the property. There's at least 14 cases in the immediate area for new construction. So I didn't understand why they weren't widening the road in front of the property. I also mentioned that there was issues with the grading in regard to properties under common ownership exceeding 1,000 cubic yards.
It's not exceeding 1,000 cubic yards.
Well, if you combine the two properties, it does.
Can you please do the math for me? It's 410 plus another 410. So can you add those for me, please?
I can, I can do math also.
I appreciate. Look,
can
honestly, I'm not being trying to be mean or anything like that. It's just I've gone over this issue like probably 10 times. I brought it up in the hearing. We had it in our last meeting. It's just it keeps coming up. I just want to make sure
because
that
it is a lot of grading, and
but it's not over 1,000.
okay,
And you guys just keep
this is not
saying
the
that.
place. This is not the place. It's a statement, and it's not the place to discuss math right now.
Okay.
But there is a lot of dirt to be removed from those sites, and that is something that anybody can calculate by measuring, depth times width times height. So it's not a hard math problem. But that's my item 2. Item 3 was considering that dedication that was required, if they could reduce that grading basically by pulling the buildings forward. But regardless of anything, they were going to have to remove those trees because those trees cover the frontage of the property, which prevents access to the houses. So I was wondering about tree replacement and the future zone 0 requirements. Item 4 I mentioned was exceeding retaining wall ordinance in both height and freeboard based on the drawings that we were provided from the planning website. And then item 5 I had was exceeding the R1 encroachment plane in both the front and side yards. So the building seemed too tall. Even if you were to measure from the shortened side yards, it's too tall according to the R1 encroachment plane, which is the project is subject to R1 zoning. Those are my points I made at the hearing. I hope they were heard. I hope somebody reads them. But I just think there's so many issues, and the 11 issues that were mentioned tonight by Michael. You can't just say like, I did this and I'm not providing any information to document it. Like we're not seeing what you're wanting to prove to us. So we need to see
What do you need
information.
to see? Can you tell me what you need?
Parking and staging plan. We need to see
It's been shared.
a civil engineer to provide and stamp the cubic yards taken from both properties.
It is.
Basic information like
We have a
that
civil engineer. We have a reputable civil engineer that
Okay.
has actually he's worked for the city, and he's a reputable engineer for the past 30 years.
Can you share your screen and show it to us?
Sure, no problem. Can you give me access to Sammy Quantum 2? Because that's my computer. I'm on my iPhone. My audio from my computer is not working. I can share my screen.
I'm sorry. What screen do you want to see?
Yeah, I'm joining right now.
Okay.
Let me share my screen. So here's the plans. Let me know if you can see. So this is our grading plan. Let me bring it down so everybody can everybody see the plan? Okay.
Yes.
So we have a reputable engineer. He has signed his plans. Here's his grading permits. Grading plans, I'm sorry. We have the total cubic yards of export, which is 410 on one property, and the other property is 2172 Stanley. And if you take a look at the grading plan on that one, it is 437 cubic yards of export. So total, it becomes 847 cubic yards, under 1,000.
But over 750 if it's 750, correct?
Well, I don't think that code is correct.
If it were correct, it's over. Is that right?
If it were correct, I have to take a look at it, but yeah, if it's over that, yes. So 800 is over 750, yes.
Sammy, do you have, because I tried to get access from our link and I still can't get in.
But I think that's your link you guys are accessing. Here's the link that I've shared with everybody, and it says that it's with neighborhood council. You can see I have the LADOT. I can open up the study.
And can you also open up the parking plan, the construction parking plan?
Yes. So here's the parking plan prepared by our traffic engineer, and we have provided this plan to LADOT, and they have reviewed it and they have approved it. I can show you their stamp signature approved by LADOT, Jose Cardenas, June 23, 2025.
So can you actually show us the plan? Don't you have a plan that
Yeah.
actually shows it?
Yeah, it's right here. So it's in they have all the traffic mitigations, where the trucks are gonna go, and if you have any question.
How about where the workers are going to park during construction?
Where the workers are gonna park. Well, it's gonna be they're gonna be parking on one property while the other one is being built. And then it says in here that they will park on one and the other property while the other one is being built as well.
Okay, but there's no plan that actually shows spaces where they could park. And also while you're doing the grading.
Yeah.
I assume you're doing the grading for both at the same time?
These are that's to be determined. I don't know yet because we have to talk to the construction team once they're hired to make sure we give them these plans, we give them the construction management plan, they review it, and we make sure that they go by it with the times and how that's going to work.
Okay. Any other committee members have questions? Stephanie, did you have anything else? I know you still have your hand up. Okay, then I'll open it up to the general public. Is there any?
I had one other question. So,
Oh, okay. I'm sorry, Patricia, go ahead. Ms. Templeton?
You had said you had the AQMD thing all squared away, but somebody sent us a transcription from our Inspector Vander at South Coast AQMD saying that there's a problem with asbestos and you need to have that cleared. There's asbestos contamination. And they're going to have to figure out something for cleanup and all that sort of thing.
I don't know anything about that. Roosevelt, do you want to?
No, hi, I'm Bruce Bay. No, we got the permit and I submitted it to the licensed contractor. They removed all the asbestos. The problem was they didn't send it to AQMD. They didn't provide the notice to the AQMD. That was the issue.
Well, let me read you the transcript, and I cannot verify its accuracy, but this was I think somebody in the neighborhood that sent this transcript from a call that they had from. It says, "Hello, this is Inspector Vander from South Coast AQMD calling in regards to 2170 Stanley Hills Drive in Los Angeles, giving you an update on the situation. I was finally able to get a hold of the owner after investigating who the owner was. And so at this point, a professional certified asbestos consultant company has collected samples and it has determined that there is an asbestos contamination. And so there will be a procedure for cleanup. Included with the violation, there will be several other counts. Now, I am not able to give an update on a regular basis in regards to the complaint investigation. So at the moment the investigation is concluded. At the moment the investigation is concluded, I will gladly forward you a voicemail with the results of my findings as well as the results of the investigation. I thank you for your patience and have a nice day. So that seems to be saying that currently there is asbestos contamination and they're continuing the complaint investigation.
No, the only notice I received is for the notice requirement, and we're resolving that with the authority. As far as I'm concerned.
Any other of the committee members have a question? Okay, I'll open it up to the public. I believe we have Kim Walker. Did you want to speak on this matter?
Yes, please. My family and I live at 2157 Stanley Hills Drive, so we're right near the property we're talking about, and my daughter lives right across the street from it. This developer came in the middle of the night and demolished the 100-year-old house that was on the property that had been uninhabited for over 50 years. And there was no notice sent to anyone in the neighborhood. We did not receive notice about it. And we've all been exposed to asbestos now. And the builder is under investigation by the attorneys at AQMD. And they continued, even though they knew they were in violation, since July 25th, when they received the notice from AQMD. The violation number is 77774 issued by the AQMD. And this is required by law. And other people who have violated this and exposed neighborhoods to asbestos like this have been punished by a 5-year moratorium on doing any building at all. And that should be imposed upon these unscrupulous developers. Also, there's a reason why there is a law that the road has to be at least 20 feet wide. Our road is barely 18 feet wide, and cars park on one side of the road. So it is virtually impossible for a fire engine to get in and for us to evacuate when there is an emergency. And to have even a single construction vehicle in the street, or to have cement trucks or trucks taking, dirt away on our substandard road, which has more patches on it than it has asphalt because it is crumbling. It's a 100-year-old, barely 18-foot road. There are so many reasons why this project should be denied, and not just denied, but the builders should be punished for exposing us all to asbestos. And my husband is also here. He would like to take a minute to respond. In order to widen the road, it would mean taking out 2 trees that are over 100 feet tall, and he's going to replace 100-year-old trees that are a pine tree and a redwood that are 100 feet tall. I'm going to turn this over to my husband.
Now we gotta go. Okay, thank you very much. And your husband, is that Randy Dodge?
No, this is Jeff Walker.
Jeff Walker.
Tim Walker, and this is Jeff Walker.
Yeah,
Okay.
I'd like to just speak up for those 2 trees at the front. These are two of the oldest trees in the canyon. They cannot be easily replaced. And point out that just 2 years ago, Terminex was up here to do some termite work and found a nest with 3 eggs in it, and all work stopped for 3 days because if those eggs were protected, they couldn't do any further. Those trees have not been looked at by anybody to see what lives in them, how important they are to this neighborhood. I've been retired since the pandemic. I see both the hawks and raptors and owls and ravens that populate this neighborhood perching on the top of that tree, surveying. During a time when the rodent population up here has totally exploded after the fires. to take those two trees, whatever happens with the rest of this, those two trees are really key parts of the neighborhood and the ecology of the neighborhood, and they need to be protected. And I hope some sort of protective motion could be put on in the meantime, while all of this is deliberated. And one other thing about the asbestos thing, just this last week on the front page of the LA Times, there was an article about the Eaton fire and the asbestos that they're finding under the soil that's there now, even after all of the cleanup there. And there was a quote in it that says, the expert that was finding all of this there was quoted as saying, there is no level of asbestos exposure that is without risk. So we're supposed to wait around years to see if someone gets mesothelioma from this careless handling of a deadly material that was basically stored safely in this old house for 100 years. When back when Stanley Hills Drive was a British colony, and by the way, there were historical artifacts on that property that were also destroyed during the demolition, which we were never notified about. If there would, I would have pointed that out to them, that maybe you should save these slabs with Boris Karloff's footprints on them. Anyway, again, even if the trees are not protected, which oaks and many are, I don't know why redwoods wouldn't be in the middle of Laurel Canyon, but the birds that live within them are protected.
Okay, well, thank you very much. We appreciate your comments. We have two other people who wish to speak, and obviously it's getting late, so I'd like to move over to them. Leslie Mansour, did you wish to speak? Okay, I saw a hand up. Randy Dodge, did you wish to speak?
Seriously,
Randy, do you want to unmute yourself?
I add one more thing.
Randy, did you wish to speak?
Randy, unmute yourself.
Hello? Hello?
Yes.
Can you hear me?
Yes. Yes, we can.
Okay. I have a special relationship with this property. I was born here. I was a child here. I've seen these houses since I was 1 year old. The back house was 100 years old. The front house was built in 1950, so it was only 75 years old. I looked up the requirements for doing a demolition, and the law that states it has to be a placard 11 by 17 that's put there. All of the neighbors have to be notified by mail. None of us were. Nobody got a notice. They went in, they didn't protect the workers from the asbestos. And they had no idea. They didn't even speak English. And they were all exposed to this. We've been exposed to it for about a year now. How would you feel if you had a house and somebody had dumped asbestos in, a few feet from your home? Try and imagine what that's going to feel like. Those trees are part of our neighborhood. They're coming in and attacking our neighborhood. They're taking the trees out. They're going to clear cut them. They're going to just destroy part of our neighborhood. I wrote you a complete letter with all of the things that are concerning me, but I want you to take a really hard look at this. He's under investigation with the AQMD. That should tell you one thing. Otherwise, that would be all clear. We wouldn't even be talking about this. The other thing is, Travis brought up the rule about the 20-foot wide street. Why are we even here? This is a law. This is a state law that says we can only have new building on a 20-foot wide street, a continuous street. Why are we even discussing this? It's our safety. Haven't we learned anything from those fires in January? That we have to get out here? When we had that last fire, we couldn't get out Stanley Hills. I had to go up the street to Sunset Plaza. Our lives are at stake. Our safety's at stake. We've got asbestos here. We've got people that want to clear cut trees that have been there for 100 years. I sent you a picture of them and you can all see what they look like. Think what we feel like as a community. What's going to happen to us?
Okay.
I guess you know, I put it all in the letter. We are not going to back down on this.
Okay, thanks you very much, Randy. And yes, for the committee to know, there's approximately 5 letters in opposition to the project. They're on our website, and hopefully you've taken a look at those.
Please.
Okay, thank you very much. I have Roy's iPhone. Are you there? Did you wish to speak on this matter?
Yeah, hi, how you doing? Can you hear me?
Yes.
All right, great. Thanks, everyone. I can't believe that's so late. Thank you for taking the time to listen. My property, my name is Roy Ferber. My property is at 2174 Stanley Hills, which is adjacent to the 2172 proposed house. My property and the 2172 property were once a single property before I purchased my home. The previous owner built multiple stone retaining walls that are shared between the two properties, and they traverse from my property to the 2172 property and the 2172 property back to mine. They're just one stone wall, and they're long. And there's they hold up the hillside in a terraced fashion. They go up, and there's 6 or 7 of these walls that create a terraced backyard with mature vegetation, fruit trees, etc. The proposed plans for the 2172 site appear to tear out all those walls on the 2172 side of the property line. And I need detailed architectural drawings showing how the replacement retaining walls will be built to ensure my property, you know, the shared retaining walls, the vegetation, and my property in general is not damaged during construction or afterwards. I don't know what they're doing there. I've got these schematics, but it's like impossible to tell. So that's something. I hired an engineer who's familiar with my property. He's familiar with the 2172 property as well, and he's reviewing everything. So, you know, if the developer wants to present something a little more detailed and propose and show us, maybe that would make it easier for us to figure it out. But otherwise, we're going to do it on our own, and I'll spend the money. I don't mind doing that. Just kind of make sure my property does not get damaged when retaining walls are getting ripped out that traverse from his property to mine. The second item I want to talk about is that my property and the 2172 property, not only are they adjacent, and not only do they share retaining walls up the hillside, but on the ground level, they're at the same exact elevation. Stanley Hills Drive, however, is increasing in elevation along the front of both of our properties. And that creates a material height difference between the street in front of the 2172 address and the site itself. So if you're standing on Stanley Hills looking at the 2172 property, you're looking down into the property. So it's unclear from the proposed plans how the 2172 house will address this difference in elevation. Like, I don't know how they're building it. If you look at the diagram, it looks like you're just driving from Stanley Hills right into a driveway. And meanwhile, that driveway, that's like a 5 to 8 foot drop straight down. So I don't know how they're going to be driving straight into a driveway unless they're going to be elevating the earth underneath it as part of their site work, which means if that's the case, and again, I'm not an engineer, I'm not an architect, but if just thinking it through logically, that means there's going to be another 5 to 8 feet built up to support this house. And then they're going to put 20 to 25 feet it's 22 feet plus another 4 feet for the roof deck. You're talking like a 30 something foot tall structure. That's over 3 stories, 5 feet away from my property. That's not really appealing to me. So I don't know if it's going to kill every plant in my yard because I'm not going to get any sun. This is like going to be a wall, a 30 foot tall wall next to my property. So I tried to talk to this guy. He's claimed that he's an innocent home builder and he's going to live there with his mother. And meanwhile, it's all baloney. He's a developer. He's got 5 other properties he's developed that he rents out. I've tried to reach out to him a few times, be nice to him. I feel like I've got to go to the mattresses with him. So Ruzbeh, if you want to talk to me about this, I keep offering this to you on every one of these calls. And you say, yeah, I'll give you a call. You never give me a call.
Oh, okay.
If you want to talk about it, Ruzbeh, if you want to talk about it like a man, we can do that. And we can make something that works for both you and for me. keep
Okay,
offering
Roy,
that.
Roy, we appreciate your comments. I do need to move on just to get everyone a chance to talk. So, but we appreciate just everyone. If you can keep your comments, again, we realize there's some passionate comments. We want to keep this to like 2 minutes each at the most. Okay. Um, Sandra Carradine, did you wish to speak on this matter?
For the sake of course, it being late, and thank you so much to the board for hanging in and for all the people showing up and for the diligence that we have seen so far. I will just say that it is completely disingenuous. There is a complaint that is being pursued by the legal department. I spoke to them myself at AQMD. It has been turned over to an attorney. It's not something that is simply, as this applicant is stating, oh, I'm dealing with it. No, he's known since July 22nd and has done nothing about it. But even worse, we're coming up to almost a year that this occurred on the property in the midnight hours. He took all those structures down, and you've all heard all of the other comments. I support them. It is just, please know that there is a legal prosecution that is moving forward with AQMD, and I cannot wait to see any permit that they say that they have, because if they have one, then why would AQMD be prosecuting them? I supplied tons of things in writing, and I support everything that I've read. I would like to end that, unfortunately, so far, since we've been in this game, I'll call it, I've not been able to see one thing provided by these applicants, and I've never, ever been able to access their links. And there's been no presentation or no response or no answer to any. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Thank you. Eugene Hess, did you wish to speak on this matter?
Winnie.
Eugene Hess?
Nikki, are you?
Can you hear me?
Eugene?
Yes.
Yes, we can hear you.
Okay. So yeah, I live at 2180, just next to Roy. My wife and I, my name is Eugene Hess. We live there, and we're dealing with the same problems that Roy is dealing with. I haven't been that aware of everything that's going on. We're going to back Roy up because we got the same problem. So these builders, to me, looks like they're really bad actors. And hearing Stephanie talk about the amount of, they're going to have trucks here at all the wrong times. We have a bottleneck at the bottom of our street. We have a lot of doctors and people that help people on our street who need to get in and out. These bad actors are going to destroy traffic. We have a school. We have Wonderland School. We waited through the whole thing. We have Wonderland School up the block. 9 a.m., 100 cars are there. 3 p.m. to 5 p.m., 100 cars are there. I'm sure they haven't even calculated that into when they're going to build or how they're going to build. These are bad actors who have no concern for the community. So they're in for it, because we're going to fight this, because we are a community, and everybody in our community knows each other. We're like a big family here, so think about it. Do it the right way or don't do it.
Great. Okay. Well, thank you very much. Leslie Mansour, did you wish to speak on this?
Yes, I do. Thank you. And thank you to you all for staying up this late and the opportunity to comment on these two projects. I'd like to point out that, especially when it comes to the Santa Monica Mountains, there is a difference between development and overdevelopment. My husband and I moved into an existing home on Stanley Hills Drive 50 years ago. There are now twice as many existing homes in this hillside community. If a person wants to live here with his mother, he can check out the dozens of open houses every Sunday. Most importantly, proximity of houses is a fire spreader. We saw it up close in January, house after house, engulfed in flames. Again, ask any firefighter. Proximity of houses is a fire spreader. While Stanley Hills Drive is a vital artery for over 1,500 families, it's also a substandard 18-foot roadway with no sidewalks in a very high fire severity zone whose infrastructure has not been improved in over a century. That's overdevelopment. I'd love to know where this builder plans to buy his fire insurance. So would all the homeowners whose insurers have dropped them, forcing almost everyone around me to drastically underinsure their potential losses through the California Fair Plan. And this person wants his mother to live here. Look, we're not simpletons. Putting private profit above safety and environmental stability of a hillside community of over 1,500 families is called overdevelopment. And I do thank you for listening. And I'd like to also thank Jamie Hall, who as president of the Laurel Canyon Association appointed me as poet laureate of Laurel Canyon. And I have just published a brand new collection, which is called Before the Forest Burns, with many, many poems about my years of living on Stanley Hills Drive. I would love it if you all would buy it.
Well, thank you.
The
Thank you very
forest,
much,
before
Leslie.
the forest burns. Okay.
Great, thank you. Is there anyone else from the public that would wish to speak on this project? I don't see anyone else with their hands raised. I guess, Sammy, did you want to respond to any of the concerns that were brought up? I would give you the last word on that if you wish to say anything.
Sure. Look, we listened to everybody's concerns, and I try to answer all the questions regarding I'm a land use consultant. So as far as what we're building, where the houses, where they're going, it's not like we're gonna come here and build these houses without permits, grading bonds, grading plans. Um, as far as the demolition, what everybody was noticed, there was a sign for 2-3 months outside on the gate. I have pictures of it, and people were going up and down the hill. They could see it. So I don't understand like what's going on. These houses, if it wasn't because of the whole ZAD down to the hillside, we're building these houses by right. We're not asking for any deviation of any zoning requirements for building a house. These were 3 properties. We brought them down to 2 properties. We could have done 3 homes next to each other, but we didn't do that. That's 2 homes. And for my client to get slandered and, bad actors and all these foul language that we're sitting here at 10 o'clock at night listening to, this is unprofessional, and honestly, like I don't know what else to say.
And
Okay.
if I may interject for a second, I won't be long, I promise. You can Google my name. I'm not a builder. I'm not a developer. I haven't built 5 houses or whatever Roy said. This is my first house. I'm an attorney. We can Google my name. And I'm very confused as to the allegations that I'm hearing on this platform. I wish to respond to all of it at some point. but it's 10 o'clock at night. I will respond, and and Roy, I will call you to see. I talked to this gentleman a few times. I went to his house. I met his family actually. Uh, but I'll respond to the community concerns, and the concerns are well taken. We're not just gonna dismiss the concerns, and I will you have my phone number. You can contact me at any time. And I just want to say the things that I heard over this platform, most of it is they're not correct. Thank you.
Okay, thank you, thank you. With that, I'll bring it back to the committee. Is there anyone on the committee that wishes to speak on this or deliberate? Stephanie?
Yes, I
No.
just, no, I don't know about this, the person who's building the house, that I think it's not even, if they have other properties, that's not relevant. The point is that our committee has asked for questions to be answered. I don't believe they've been sufficiently answered. I believe that there needs to be more information provided, and it keeps growing. And this is brought up at the ZA hearing as well. I just don't think that we're getting the information we're asking for. And maybe there's some communication problem with their parties. So as far as any kind of motion that could be made, I think that we would have to continue this project until they answer the questions we're asking to be answered. A valid calculation of the grading, that the grading plans they showed online tonight were no calculation showing any topography or anything like that. There's no information about parking and staging for the various stages of construction for two larger homes on small lots with a lot of grading. So there's just a lot of logistics that, nobody's taught, like we can't just ignore that. Like there's a lot more thought that needs to be presented to the community to make them understand and be comfortable with something. And I just don't think they're providing it. I think that's needs to be here to, in order for the project to be approved. So I think we would have to continue it if they want to provide this information, but it seems to be stonewalling at this stage. So, does anybody else have a?
Yeah, Stephen, did you want to speak on?
Yeah, I echo Stephanie's concerns, and I also want to remind the committee that there's a letter from Paul Edelman from the Santa Monica Mountains Conservancy, I think addressing density issues with regard to these properties and how they might be impacting, frankly, oh, maybe that's a different project. Strike that. That was the.
It's this project.
You sure? I think it was
I
the
think so.
closest to Franklin Canyon, and this one's in Laurel, right?
Yeah, that's right.
But going back, everybody kind of knows my background about my concern about developers demolishing things without permits. So I'm very concerned about that, and that raises a big red flag to me across the entire thing. So I echo Stephanie's concerns. I think the applicant needs to come back and answer these questions.
And if I may respond.
Yes.
We had permits for demolition. The permits were posted on the property for 3 months. 2 permits on the fences, and I received multiple calls about the demolitions myself. So we had permits for demolition, and the permits were posted.
Okay, thank you. Maureen Levinson?
Yes, I echo Stephanie's concerns as well. Also, I know if it's by right, you still have to follow the rules. And I'm curious as to whether when you demolished, were you within the parameters of time? Did you follow the construction or demolition hours or construction hours? To follow the rules is being professional. And I think I don't see professionalism with these developers, especially with regard to the community. Thank you.
Okay.
If I
Thank
may
you.
respond,
Yes. Mhm.
I'm not a professional developer, ma'am. I never developed any properties before. So you're right. I'm not a professional developer. In that sense, you're right. And by the way, I don't know what the contractor did the demolition. My understanding is they started at 7 a.m. till 3 p.m. That was my understanding, but I wasn't there at the site.
Okay. Thank you. Um,
If I can interject here, if that'd be okay, Michael, since this was just mentioned.
Sure.
This is the letter from the Santa Monica Mountains Conservancy. And we should have it posted up to the website now, to the zoning administrator, indicating their concerns about the inadequate secret review on biological issues because of the importance of movement across this and the design of the project itself. So
That's the letter that I was talking about.
yeah, exactly. It is this property, is dated November 3rd and has this map talking about movement across from their habitat block 53 to habitat block 54. I just wanted to note that that's present. Given the hour and the productivity of the conversation back and forth, and the fact that the ZA hearing has already been held, is that correct? And there may be some timeline here that they're wanting to act on?
Yes, there was a CA hearing. We asked for a 90-day hold
Yeah.
on the project. Mhm.
Yeah, and has there been any indication that that has been, is going to happen?
I'm not, Stephanie, do you know if that was granted, the 90-day? I'm not aware of the status of that. Is Stephanie still?
I didn't hear the entire hearing. I know there was some delay. But if we do have 90 days, I would be happy to present the list of the community and our board and what I mentioned. I'm happy to present that, but I get a little tired of presenting lists where nobody answers the questions of the list. You know, they're not irrelevant questions. These are legitimate questions. They're just,
Yeah, I
basic
apologize
facts.
if I may. Michael, didn't you read me the questions and I answered every single one of them?
No.
No,
Well, I read you
I
the
didn't answer.
questions. I don't know if we received an adequate answer, to be honest, so,
Adequate. Okay.
yeah.
Okay.
So
Ms. Templeton, did you have a question? Did you?
Well, kind of a statement. I know one of you gentlemen is an attorney and you might want to write this down. In the Los Angeles Municipal Code, section 12.21.C.10, F2 little 2, says that on a substandard hillside limited street, the amount of by right grading shall be no more than 75% of the maximum by right grading. So your R1, where the maximum by right grading is 1,000 cubic yards, which would mean 750 cubic yards is your maximum by right grading. So it does appear that you exceed that. And then I guess my other thing, so basically what you guys are here for is you're seeking our approval to not have to widen the street. Is that right? That's what you're before us on?
Correct.
So I'm wondering if we have enough information to vote on that. If we wanted to vote on that, we could tailor our discussion to
yeah,
that.
and thank you, Patricia, if I can interject. I think this is exactly the direction to go right now. Given everybody, A, the hour, and B, our interest in time going forward. And that there's a clock, is is there any way, I'll ask the committee, that you would recommend that this project be given a zoning, variance basically to build on a substandard street, no matter how many questions you asked about the project itself. If the answer is no, then you should just make a motion that says you don't recommend that this project go forward because it can't meet X, Y, or Z criteria. You can add whatever more you want to it, but I'm not sure we have the time, nor we're going to have a productive conversation about every single one of these issues.
But I think, Travis, if we do, I agree with you. We should still, in our letter, mention all the concerns that Stephanie raised.
Absolutely.
Also, Robin, did you have a?
Well, I'd like to make a motion. Is it appropriate?
Yes,
Motion?
yes. You can make a motion.
I'd like to make a motion that based upon our understanding of the applicant's request, we are not able to approve the project based on the street being less than 20 feet because it has to be 20 feet according to our understanding.
I think
Okay, do I have a second of the motion?
A second, I'll second. Yeah.
a second, maybe we could clarify it a bit that, that we don't approve the variance to not widen the road to the exit point.
So,
sorry, can you clarify the motion then?
Yeah, so I believe that they're seeking a variance that they're required to widen the road to 20 feet from where their house is to a street that's 20 feet.
Point, right. Mm-hmm.
Right. And so that we deny their or don't support their motion for a variance without widening the street to 20 feet from their house to the next 20-foot street. I don't live there, so I don't know which one it is, but just basically to be specific that, because of the risk, the fire danger risk and evacuation risks.
Okay.
Can I ask a question in here? If these people decided to somehow widen the road to 20 feet, would those two trees that were mentioned be endangered at that point?
Yes.
Yes.
Well, then, this is a conundrum. I think that portion and the tree portion and the careless asbestos dispersal over the neighborhood. I think there are many factors that I would like to see, the ZA to consider denying this entire project.
Well,
okay.
If I could interject that those trees would be removed whether they widen the street or not. They need to provide a plan that shows where those trees are in relation to their new development. And you would see with the driveway, there's no way those trees would exist. So those trees are gone if they build those houses. So I don't know why, I do know why they don't show those on their plans because they're gone.
Right, but the question before us is with respect to the variance about the what's effectively variance about widening the road,
which is a precedent
to
widen for everyone else who has built a new home in that area for the last 25 years in the immediate area.
Right, and again, sorry to keep interrupting, but so the way I believe that this recommendation comes is you say that the findings can't be made to support the request to have deviation from the rules on continuous paved roadway because of the nature of the project, that you can't support those things. So it could be about the safety, and you could have a list of concerns that mean that the findings couldn't be made. And there should be draft findings for this that would probably argue this is consistent with and makes the neighborhood safer and better and supports the housing element of the city or whatnot. And so all these other concerns that you have, especially around the fact that there appears to be an unmitigated asbestos issue, the fact that the Santa Monica Mountains Conservancy has expressed concerns about the biological impacts, et cetera, would all go into the rationale for why the findings to allow for deviation from code can't be made.
So much better said than what I did.
Okay.
Um,
Any more? So we
oh.
have a motion and we have a second. Any more discussion on the motion?
I would like to substitute Travis's language for my motion.
Okay. Any other discussion from the committee? Okay.
Just, can I say something real quick?
Yeah, Kathy? Mhm.
Just the terminology that I've heard used over and over again is relief from, that they're seeking a waiver or relief from the requirement. As opposed to request to have a deviation. I mean, just from the, but that's the same thing, right? Okay, sorry.
Okay. Okay.
We should also recommend that the project applies for whole road.
Okay. Well, I think as Travis mentioned, that would be in our reason for the findings, the lack of findings, maybe.
And you could, basically direct that letter to that effect be written based on these issues between now and the board meeting that would be the board considering the issue. So you could direct Michael to and Leslie to prepare a letter that incorporates the concerns that the committee has.
So we could do that before the board meeting. So
Mhm.
with that said, I'll call for a vote on this. So all in favor of the motion as presented, raise your hand or say aye.
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 Okay. Anyone opposed to the motion? Okay, seeing none. And then any abstentions?
I'm abstaining.
Okay, Travis will. Okay. Therefore, the motion passed. So I guess for the applicants, so this is just a recommendation to the full neighborhood council, which actually meets next week. So, but we will prepare, probably refine our concerns into a letter, and you're welcome to attend that meeting of the full national of the neighborhood council, and state your case, basically, for lack of better words. So again, thank you very much. I realize it's very late, so thank you for attending.
Thank you.
Everyone else, and I don't know if Jamie wants to finish up, if he's still here, but that's everything we have on our agenda. So good of the order. Anyone have any comments?
Late.
Okay, well, thanks, everybody. Really appreciate it. We realize this was a lot with these
Yeah,
three projects.
it was important. Thank you very
It's
much.
late, but it was a good meeting.
Yes, yes. Okay. Okay, everyone, take care. Get some rest.
Good night.
Bye. Bye.
10:30.